What is going on, everybody?
What is up?
Welcome
What's
to
happening, people?
another Wednesday.
Hello.
Everybody want to go ahead and introduce themselves?
Yeah, I'm Drew Brix.
I'm Gene with Camel City Brick House.
I'm Bevan's Bricks.
And I'm Richard with Bearded Brick.
Welcome to Brickin with the Beard.
Yay!
It worked.
It worked. It worked. It worked.
That's awesome.
We kind of gave Bevan a little heads up. We're like, look, this is the first time we're gonna try this. So
I didn't know I was gonna be the one to lead it. I that's my bad. I'm sorry. I was like, so who's gonna go first?
Figure once you jumped in, I'm just gonna wait back. I knew I gotta be before Bearded Bricks, but
everybody in the chat, once again, this is Bevan's Bricks, the lighting master. He's a slight Lego collector and a Lego enthusiast, but he's a
long-time fan, small-time collector, right?
Yeah. He's been shocked once or twice in his life.
He owns a brick or two.
Yeah.
I'm looking back at his background thinking, I wish my Bricklink store had all that.
Well, Gene, funny enough, for the right amount of money, it can.
Right?
everything's for sale with the right price tag.
Right?
He said he would deliver it as long as you say yes.
Everything but my wife and dogs.
Right?
Okay, what does that amount to then? Let's talk here.
Let's throw out some numbers.
Are you okay with
Are you
making
wanting
it
some of the Star Wars
Make it
memorabilia
happen
as well?
Right?
we got
Richard and Drew will take the Star Wars stuff.
do
Heck,
what?
yeah.
I'm not. Hey, as long as you're paying for it,
I'm like, on behalf of you, Gene, I'll take whatever you're
I
paying for.
will not say no.
Whatever you're paying for, I'll gladly take without a problem. I can find space. I can make some work.
So, Bevan, do you barter in 1x1 plates? Because I got a lot of those I could give you.
I'm sorry,
What?
hold on. I clicked the wrong button and muted you on accident. Can you say that again?
I was saying, can we just barter with 1x1 plates? Because I got a bunch of those I could get rid of.
Only if they're in trans dark blue, because those are ones that are the money makers right there.
Are they really?
Dark blue?
Trans dark blue, they're like average 10 or more, 10 cents a piece.
I thought light blue was just as expensive.
It is just as expensive.
That's
That I
really
got 30,000 off.
I wonder how much my castle is worth. Not what it costs. What is it worth? What's the value?
What's the value?
$5
You know,
a pound.
it's funny that you bring that up because, and just real quickly, because I see one of my very long time followers yelling at everybody. So, hey, Rob, how you doing, buddy? Funny from the funny farm. What I was going to say though is like for any of those that have or haven't seen it anyway, I got a monstrosity of an Avengers Tower. And I always get people that say, oh, you willing to sell that? And it's like, well, if you make the right price, maybe. Then they'll say, well, $300. And then I always laugh.
Wrong.
Somebody-
It's like $300. That would buy you one floor.
Yeah, right?
My buddy found a website over Christmas or right before Christmas. His dad is a huge astrology guy. Anything to do with space, especially that just planets and everything else. He found a website where a guy pretty much designs mocks and he buys all the pieces and then sells the kits with his instructions. Mm-hmm. And it's really weird that this exists now because Lego's done said they're coming out with it, but you turn a crank and it has the Earth and it basically shows all the planets orbiting it. Mm-hmm. And he was like, yeah, I bought it. It was $150 and it was per piece count. He paid, I think it was 25 cents a piece almost.
Jeez.
And well, the pieces are big though. I mean, you got to realize you got lift arms that are really long. And I was I'm gonna get deal. I was like, I'll sell you my castle if you buy it for 2 cents a piece. And he's like, what's that at? And I was like, well, if you buy it for 2 cents a piece, give or take, I was like, we'll just call it with my labor $20,000. So it's a very
all right.
people don't realize, I guess, the value that you have in it, or the money that it costs to do it.
Yeah.
And it's not even that. They don't even take, and this is pretty much the case with anything in life. Nobody ever takes your time into account.
No.
For the designing, the planning, all the shipping costs and fees you had to do for amassing all those parts. And it's like they think that you're Lego, and it's like, okay, well, I have 70,000 pieces into this. What do you think Lego's going to charge for that?
Shit, right?
And you're trying to tell me $6. Huh? No, Lego's not going to charge you $300 for 70,000 pieces.
The first encounter I ever had like that, my city was at Brick Fair, and a guy came up to me who was of age. He was at least like 30 or older. And he was like, I got a question. He's like, would you sell your entire city? My entire city was dedicated to Marvel. And so I had like my own Avengers Tower. I had my own Daily Bugle. I had like the Empire State Building I created. And he was like, I really like it. Would you be interested in selling it? And I'm like, I don't really know even to tell you, what the price point is. And he was like, how many base plates is there? I was like, with roads, I was like, I don't know, roughly like 35. And he was, like legitly trying to figure this out in his head. Like I seen smoke rolling out and his wheels turning. He was like, what about if I paid you 100 a base plate? And I was like, that wouldn't do it. I was like, not at all. He was like, what about if I paid you 500 a base plate? I was like, 500 a base plate? I was like, I'll help you load it to your car right now.
That sounds about right.
I mean, that's enough money for me to wash my hands with it and just be like, all right, start over.
Yeah.
Take it. Yep.
Literally.
Then you could recoup your costs, but
some. I don't know about so my city. I'll get to it in a second, but my city was I went overboard. I want to say say hey to some people.
Rich going overboard? No way.
Hush your mouth before I put you on mute. Hush your mouth.
No way.
Hush your mouth. We got Rob Claxton in the house, David Krause, Nate Bill, Brian Paynebaker,
Rusty Trahan,
Paul Bricktronics. What is up, everybody?
Yeah.
So my city extravaganza was, which if you've seen anything to do with the castle, you know that I went way overboard with minifigures. But when it comes to Marvel minifigures, there wasn't a huge, I'm a huge comic guy. I'm not a Marvel, universe when it comes to everything you can watch on TV and Disney Plus. I'm a comic guy. They don't have my characters that I like in Lego form. So I was like, well, I'm on the internet, I'm on YouTube. Somebody has to know somebody. Well, somebody introduced me to a website that I now know the guy who owns it. And I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I literally bought like every single X-Men character. I literally bought like the Spider-Man that were just, to me, Spider-Man. I had to get like another, like Lego's made, I think, one Venom print, but it's been like 100 different minifigs. Yeah, I had to get my own Venom. I had to get my own, Carnage. And then after that, I was just like, well,
you were broke. That's what it was.
Right.
I think I probably have a tackle box where it's like each section is as small as it can be. And I'm wanting to say there's probably 50 minifigures in it roughly.
Wow.
And I probably have more money in those 50 minifigures than I do in the 700 that's in the castle.
Yeah, but custom printing is not cheap.
No.
It's almost
I've even looked into that and going the cheap route. I'm calling it the cheap route, like with a UV printer. God, man, a good one of those starts at like $5,000.
Yeah.
The problem with that is, though, when you buy a UV printer, you have two options. Do you only do it for yourself, or what point of that turns into, I guess, when you do it for yourself, you're going to make yourself happy. You just gotta cut it as a loss. You lost $5,000. But if you started as a business, what point do you say I need to stop? Because if you buy the printer, you're obviously going to buy, or you're going to print what you want for the first 50 minifigures.
Sure.
So what point of that after that do you say, okay, I need to recoup some of this money, and what do I do?
As far as when to stop, I wish somebody would tell me. Because I I haven't found that stoppage point yet.
Sorry, this word "stop." What is this? I've never heard of it.
Drew, can you research that?
Yeah, let me see here.
Can you read it in a sentence and give me a definition?
Yeah, right. Stop. The act of no.
We're gonna have a learning with the beard here in a minute. Does it have a little Lego symbol and put a no through it?
Right. So you're implying that we're obsessed or addicted?
I will
Rich, approve the thing.
firmly say that I am. Yes.
So we have stop. It's of an event, action, or process to come to an end. It also means to cease to happen. It's a cause of an action, process, or event to come to an end. There you go. The more you know.
Yeah, no, that doesn't work for me though.
Yeah, I don't know any of those terms. Those definitions did not help me.
my favorite thing I've seen is the videos that are like all over Instagram where it's like, I used to be hooked on drugs and then I started building Lego. Now I just realized that it would have been cheaper to stay on drugs.
Drugs or an alcohol habit or gambling maybe would be cheaper.
Right.
Now, wait a minute, Evans. I'm running a Bricklink store. Everything we do is a gamble.
Yeah, true that. That.
But does it count that your addiction is gambling? That's gambling on your addition? does that cross each other out?
I'm gambling on
I'm
how crazy
addicted.
I am.
I can stop anytime I want.
And I tell myself that all
to.
the time, but I have not yet found that point.
Right? Haven't broke yet. Oh, I see True Squadron. Kennedy, what's up, man? How's it going?
And we got Lego
There's
Stop
Nate
Motion.
Bills, too.
Yeah, Lego Stop Motion 1, 2, 3. What's up?
I've realized that I don't know if a true, I'm going to say this, and the people in the know are going to know, if a true Lego mock builder or a true Lego fan knows the word no.
No.
Or do they understand the word?
I don't think I've met any.
You know, I will say this. When Bricklink went down, I was sober for 6 days. And some new light came to me. I knew what it meant to like not have to put in a Lego order, but that changed 2 weeks later. So
I feel bad then because I didn't go through anything. Gene will tell you as soon as Bricklink went down, I was like, well, let's go to Lego.
Do you wonder conspiracy? No,
the good thing about Lego or the Bricklink going down is because I've been so focused on my lighting, I haven't really noticed. And I know like people like Paul and Rob will probably tell you that maybe they can buy more stuff now because I used to live on that thing daily. And if I found a bargain on something that was bulk, I bought it all.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you using it for? I don't know. It's cheap.
Exactly. I'll use it somewhere.
So I was so bad that I would be built, and Gene benefited from this greatly. I'm really weird. I stick to like 3 or 4 Bricklink stores and that's it. But what I would do is like I would be building something and I would need maybe 10 of them. And I would go there and Gene would have, let's say 30. And I'd be like, well, I might need 20 more later. So let's just clear him out. I don't want him to pull one out of the pile of 50. So let's just buy them all.
There you go. There you go.
Well, I do that because I'll try and half-heartedly design something or whatever. And it's like, I know I need 20. But once I get it, I'm probably going to change some things because once I build it, it's not going to look just right. So let me order 80.
Just 20 to 80 swing.
Right.
That's almost like my army went down. So my army was, I first started out with 100 Black Falcons. They were on bestseller. I bought those, and then maybe like 2-3 weeks later, they started putting the Red Falcons out on Lego's Build a Minifigure section. So I went to a Lego store, and the first Lego store I went to, I got a couple. Second Lego store I went to, I got like a couple. Well, me and Gene went to a huge Lego store by us, and there was a guy that was working that was like, why don't you just come back here to the back, and hands me a box full of them. And I was like, I'm just going to buy the box. I was like, I buy it all. And he was like, okay, deal. So then I come back home, and I'm like, well, I guess they're still on bestseller. Let me go ahead and order another 100. And then like I thought I was done. I stopped at 500 until they like I guess it was right before Christmas when they shut down anything other than bestseller.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was literally on there like, man, when are y'all putting those Black Falcons up? Like, are y'all gonna put them things back up? What are y'all doing? I think it was. I forgot when I realized it. I'm wanting to say it was last Wednesday, Thursday. I realized that they had opened it back up, and I immediately like found the Black Falcon torsos and legs, put 100 of them in a cart and bought them. I was like, I'll wait the month till they take to get here. I don't want the not to be able to get them again type thing.
True.
Oh, I agree.
I've always wanted to buy a box from the Pick-a-Brick wall, like from the back. How much does that like cost to do one of those? Does it depend on the piece, or
They won't do it by box anymore. You have to go in and take the box and basically fill up Pick-a-Brick cups, and then you can dump them back in the box. I will tell you that the 1x2 translucent blue tiles, I cleared 2 boxes out of it, and I think it ended up only costing me like maybe $7,500.
That's pretty good.
Because once you start, like once the Lego employee sees that you're sitting there doing that, and it might take, let's say it takes 5 cups, at 4 cups they're going to go, okay, 4 cups.
Yeah.
I mean, they have like an X dollar amount that the box is worth, and it's not by a piece, it's just what the box is worth.
Right.
So they're selling that cup is the UPC and not the individual pieces. They don't care what pieces it is, whatever.
Yeah.
They're banking off of,
Yeah,
you know.
that makes sense.
I really wish
Tori
they
and I
would
were
go
in
back
a
to
Lego
selling
store
boxes.
Saturday, and they were going in the back just bringing out boxes. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I went in there today. I called Gene and I was like, I gotta go by the Lego store, which is not, it's really out of my way, but I'm in another city the next 3 days at school. So I was like, I gotta stop by the Lego store, see what they got. And I went in there looking for the CMFs, and they all have this small barcode on them, so they couldn't be scanned. And I told the lady, I was like talking to her, blah, blah, blah. She was really nice. She rings me up, and as she's ringing me up, she's like, I think I watch you on YouTube. And I was like, yeah. I was like, maybe. I was like, I have a YouTube channel. And she's like, and I think you're on Instagram. So she starts talking to me. She rings me up for, I think I bought 10 of them. While talking to her, she's like, what are you looking for? I was like, I'm going to be honest with you, the goat. I was like, if you have an ability to tell me which ones are the goats, I was like, I'll buy, 20 boxes of them right now. And she's like, well, I don't. She rings me up and I like swipe my card. As I swipe my card, she's like, but there is a lot of people that come in here with scales and a phone to tell. And as soon as she said that, I was like, if you would have told me that before I picked these up, I would have never bought them. Luckily, I got 2 goats.
Nice.
I got two more goats have entered the army.
There you go. There you go. What else? Which ones? What else? Or which were the ones you didn't want that you got?
So I got 2 of the Vampire Knights, which I did not.
Those are cool. I like those guys.
There was 2 guys in front of me that bought 2 random ones just to see what they got. They both got barbarians. I got 3 barbarians in this. And then I got another Triceratops and another pet detective.
Mm-hmm.
I have EMS Bricks, the other Bricklink store, got a bunch of these mushroom heads. She's sending me, or I've got them now, but I got them from her because I don't really care about the minifigure, but I want the heads just to put mushrooms around the castle.
Right.
And I got one of those. So
You scored pretty good, man.
Yeah, I was about to say I spent $50, but at the same time, like I'm not. I thought I was going to be mad as soon as she said that. I was like, my chances of getting a goat are just -0 at this point.
Yeah, right.
Does everybody want to get into this next section? Gene, are you ready?
Yeah, I can do it.
You want to go ahead and load it up?
I'll certainly do that.
Just remember, don't, because now.
It worked.
Yes, that
it worked.
Man, we're 2 for 2 right now. We are 2 for 2. Gene is going to put up some Bricklink orders that he has had this week, and we are going to try to guess what they are building. This is probably the hardest part of the show.
Yeah, this one, it's obviously a vehicle. I'm not sure what they're doing with these unless they're putting spacers between the wheels. But it's kind of weird because, I mean, you got wedge plates mixed with masonry.
Is this all one order?
That's one order.
I don't think it's
The
It's
paint
a-
rollers throw me off. It makes me like, why they get paint
Well,
rollers?
you got
as
the
much
paint
as
rollers
the
and
only type of
printed
vehicle I
wedges and
think it
tiles.
could be is something for some kind of spaceship. Because the only thing that's making me think of spaceship is because like a burnt orange color. Because originally I thought of building, but with the control panels,
That
and
red
then
and brown throws me off though.
yeah, the control panels and the what you thought were for a vehicle, you could easily use those for jets. But unless they're going the route of some sci-fi build that you can use those for air conditioners, but
No, I
it could
think I've
be
seen
a
the
slew
jet.
of different orders.
Yeah, I think I've seen the jets. There's the cone, there's two spacers, and there's the back end of it.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
it almost
Alright.
looks like that middle bin where all the stuff is like for the one of the gunships, because it has those
Yeah,
white
possibly.
white spacer. It's just I don't know. I see too many different things at one time.
Paul's in here snitching on you. He said Daryl will tell his followers about all the deals he's found after he's already bought several thousands of the parts.
Well, I got to get my cut first.
Exactly. Daddy always
Here's-
eats the biggest chicken.
Yeah, here's a weird one. There's a mix of a bunch of plates, a bunch of snot bricks, but then a bunch of Technic.
Are those Technic? Not Technic, but are those rods or pins, or are those? Oh, those are axles.
These right here,
Yeah.
that's 25 lift arms. They bought a bulk bag of lift arms.
Mm.
Those 7Ls.
This one's unique.
See, these look like my orders because I'll get on and I'll just start shopping for what's cheap in this purchase thing once I got some parts.
Right?
And it's like, okay, while I'm here, let me go throw this. I'll throw this.
What haven't I bought
gonna
in
say-
a year?
This one looks like to me it would be for some kind of a building though.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
city
until
construction.
You got the turntable down here.
Yeah, it almost looks like a city build. And you
Parts
like
of a crane, maybe?
yeah, something.
Possibly. All right, next.
That's space.
Yeah,
Yep.
classic space right there.
There's the green heads and the black heads.
Yeah, that's
Classic.
definitely
They have-
classic.
Did they have trans green back then like that?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know. I have to
There
look
for a
that up.
long time, all the aliens had like solid black heads.
Right.
Yeah, but they wasn't it when Blacktron? I thought Blacktron was when they started doing some of those neon, glowy, whatever colored head pieces.
When did what year was Blacktron out?
Blacktron would have been like 98-ish.
So
Yeah.
UFO was a little before that, and UFO used trans heads too.
That's why I want to say those were 90s, at
Yeah.
least when they started doing them.
Those just look like brand new compared to. But I
Well,
guess
they've
they
like
make the same
done
part.
Lego's done some kind of weird thing where they've like re-upped all these translucent heads.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
have no idea what this would be.
It's got to be a weird building of some sort. I mean, it's all
It's a
medium
friend
azure,
set.
red, yellow.
Yeah, it's a friend's attachment. We got we got Dave Bricks in the house. It says second
Yo.
time catching a live stream, first time commenting hello everyone.
Hey, what's
We
up?
got Mayo in the house, and Nate Builds says the EMS Bricks is amazing.
Yeah.
They are good.
Oh,
They're good friends.
Mayo just said it. It was 87 to 94 when Blacktron was doing it.
So UFO came after that then, because UFO was like 95 ish.
Hmm.
But I don't know without popping my aliens' heads off to what they have. Are those
Yeah.
balls?
Yep.
Yeah, they're the big. You see them mostly in Duplo stuff, but they're called Technic balls.
That's another Bionicle.
That's what
Well,
I'm thinking too.
and a random order at the same time too. I love the Chinese dragon print on. I picked up
Oh,
one of
yeah.
those. Those things are
I love
sick.
that part.
Yeah.
So nice.
Yeah, honestly,
Those
it's one of the
were-
cool things about our store. We've got a lot of cool printed stuff.
Hmm
A lot of the stores just throw it away. We list it.
Throw it away. Why the heck would you throw away a printed part?
Y'all just made
Jesus
him
Christ.
twitch.
That person needs shot.
Right? Right?
Y'all just made him
Gosh,
twitch.
darn. Although
It's
I have a
only-
question.
Whenever somebody throw away a printed part, man, that's fighting words.
Right?
It's hilarious.
That's like
get
the
on some of the
cardinal
Facebook
sin right
pages.
there.
So
Mayo
what?
said that Blacktron was 87 and 94, UFO was 97 and 98, and Insectoids was 98 and 99. And that's when like everything was transcolored. Like
Yeah.
everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although I have a question. If someone on this only pertains because this is about Bricklink. We're talking about orders here. I made an order. I ordered used tile plates or used tiles.
Oh,
And that's all they said was just used tiles. They sent me the tiles, obviously used, because they have stickers on them.
Oh my God.
And like I get it. It's technically used. That is correct. But it would have been nice to know in the comment or like in the description that
stickers
there's
on 'em.
stickers on them. Because now I got to take them all off and deal with the goop. I mean, I still would have bought them to deal with them and take off the goop, but it would have been nice to know that.
Well,
So,
what
Drew,
was the price?
I'll tell you a trick.
They were dirt
Take-
cheap, which makes sense why.
Yeah, the stickers should peel off pretty good if they're real Lego stickers.
Yeah.
And the goop, if you take a rag with denatured alcohol on it, it'll take that goop right off and will
Yeah.
not harm the plastic.
Okay.
I
cool.
would be careful with that, though. Mind you, I'm going back to my automotive days, and Bearded
Yeah.
Bricks will probably agree with me. Like VW Beetles, well, any old car that had the rubber that you put around windows. I remember a guy one time telling me, use rubbing alcohol because it'll make it shine like new, but it
Yeah.
also dries the daylights out of it.
True.
Yeah.
What I recommend is, and again, this is probably because I'm more of an auto guy. It's Armor All.
True.
It gives it a
True.
nice shine. It looks
Yeah.
new.
Smells
So-
nice.
So Bevins, I would agree. Anything that's got rubber content, absolutely do not use it. And we don't use rubbing alcohol. We use denatured because it's a lot less harsh on it. It takes the goop off and doesn't turn the plastic colors, doesn't make it brittle, doesn't do anything to it. It's pretty cool.
That's pretty nice. Unless it's brittle brown, then you're just screwed
Well,
either way.
I was about to say, speaking of brittle colors, I just had my first dark green piece snap in the castle.
Oh, really?
I've actually
like,
found
you're
brittle pieces. You know, a
I
lot of
put it
people
on-
always just say brown, but I've seen it with regular green, dark blue, pink, dark red is a really bad one for it. I bought a bulk lot of, I think it was 6,000 1x2 dark red bricks.
Wow.
And as I was building with them, I want to say like every 15th one would crack on me.
That's
You
crazy.
could just hear it as you
I
snap
think-
it on. It was poop. It was like, what the heck?
I think all of the
I
ones
wanna-
that are high pigment colors, all of the dark colors are brittle at a certain level.
I want to go. Let me get a box out. I want to show Rob something, by the way, because he said that he heard that the QR codes were, that don't work. I'm going to interrupt you real quick, Gene. Gene, actually, I got to give all the credit to him. He found this out. So if you go to a Lego store or you go to a store that sells Lego and you see the QR code that's got the two sets of numbers underneath it, and it's a small QR code, it doesn't work. But if it's a bigger QR code and one of the numbers is wrote on the side and the bottom, those QR codes are scannable and they do work.
Rich, you're never getting into land now.
I don't care.
And so I had a long conversation. I had a long conversation at the Lego store Saturday about it. And it turns out that the smaller QR codes are the early runs. After that, the later runs have the larger QR code, and even the Lego store confirmed that those are scannable.
Well, if they're scannable, you'd think the Lego store, because like the one by me, they used to actually do the blind feeling and then actually set them up and tell you these are these. That way you could just walk in and grab them.
Yep.
Yeah, the problem with this Lego store is all the shipments they got are the early ones that are the small QR and is not scannable.
If I could have walked in and walked out with like 20 goats, you would have seen a happier me tonight.
All right, so
You're not
this
happy?
one's kind of blah.
I don't
Nothing
even know.
really to look at.
We're building an ambulance.
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 Oh, they're definitely building a city here.
Absolutely.
It almost looks.
Absolutely.
I almost wanted to guess modular just because a base plate came with it, but it's probably not modular.
You mean it's modular? It's not mills.
No, like what? Like they're piecing together a modular. That's what I meant. Sorry. This guy just. I don't even know what to do
Not
here.
sure. Well,
That's Bevan's order from earlier.
Yeah.
I think this is like, oh, they got these. Oh, they got these. Oh, they got
Yep.
these.
hey, Devin, you cleared us out on these 3-ways.
It's actually a really good part.
Yeah.
That and the bottom Technic link connector is really good.
Oh, I've got tons of
Yeah,
those. I
those are
love
nice.
the reason I love that particular part right there. Actually, the ones that I like are the round ones, though, not the technical.
Yeah.
I
You
like
like
the round
the
ones because I
pins,
can
not
put a
axles.
stick in it, and it keeps it hollow for running wires through it.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that does play a big role in your stuff.
So how much
Yeah,
are you
I
going to
use
charge
a
me just to
lot of
come light the
Technic.
castle up?
Oh, wow.
So
Is that
the
a
weirdness-
piston?
that it's a pneumatic pump.
Yeah.
So you got a pneumatic pump, a bunch of red, blue, and yellow, and one little Speed Champion bag.
There you go.
So
That's
it's
unique.
kinda weird. Yeah.
So Will just said, what's going on, Will, by
Plastic
the way?
space.
He said that they just went to the Lego store about an hour ago and found out about the small QR code thing, but they let us exchange the fig we got, which was a Triceratops, for a weightlifter girl. So that's pretty
That's
cool.
pretty
They're
cool.
letting you switch it up.
So this one goes with that one. And I think the reason Tori split it up was this is a what the heck are they building thing. You get to page 2, and it's obviously
Oh.
aircraft.
There we go.
Okay.
It's classic space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I say classic, I'm going to say 90s.
I think
You
that's all the
want
ones
a
she
windshield this big, and it has to be a trans bright color.
Right. You know, I think I have to disagree with Mayo. He says no one wants the weightlifter. I think as much as I somewhat agree, it's actually kind of underrated. Because
You know what I think is really cool about it, though?
yeah, well, that's what I'm saying is you get the kettle. Oh, I wonder if this will even focus.
Kettlebells.
You get the kettlebell with the 10 pounds on it. Then on her right arm, she has a tattoo sleeve, which is pretty cool. Like you could easily swap that over to like one of your Viking figures or whatever. But that's basically it. But it was worth it. I thought I was like, oh man, I just got some weightlifting, but that's
Plus,
actually
it
kind of
comes
cool.
with a water bottle, like a drink.
Mm-hmm. It says a Vita Rush with an orange on it.
And you can always take the little water bottle top off and put the can tops that they use that they put in all the other sets.
Mm-hmm. Although what's kind of funny is her shorts look like the Ozark Trails from Walmart. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see it, if it'll feel. It's probably too bright for my light, but that little square, it literally looks like the Ozark Trail Mountains on it, and it's hilarious to me.
They're wavy.
They're wavy.
Yeah.
What
We
does
got
that mean?
Tunes Bricks in the house. Will said that he wanted it, that the weight and the tattooed arm and the drink are why he wanted it.
Yeah.
I mean, anytime you buy a CMF, I don't care what anybody says. I don't think there's a CMF that you can really go wrong with. I will say that the dog kind of freaks me out. I don't like this dog.
Yeah.
It's got to be my least favorite. The dog that's in this wave, the like long-haired.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a little weird. Like they should have just given us an adult Dalmatian to go with all the ones that we have out of the 101 Dalmatian Corella.
Yeah.
I'd have been all right with that.
I like the what's it called? The older dwarf one with the red mohawk. I forget which one that came with. Was that a CMF? That was a CMF. This
I'm
one.
trying to think of what it.
So who's got mocks tonight?
No one. We decided we're not doing that bit anymore.
You hush your
That's
mouth.
old school.
This one?
Yeah.
Oh crap! This one, I
no.
love this one. This guy's cool. He comes with an
that the
axe
Mohawk
and a
dude?
hammer. Yeah, comes with a like red beard, like a razorback hammer, and like sleeve tattoos. And this guy's pretty menacing,
They modeled him after me.
right? You're so scary.
So you ready to get into these mocks?
Yes.
Oh, Tori actually says that was 2 different orders.
Oh
Oh,
Ooh, how the tables have turned.
she
man,
called me out.
the employee correcting the employer.
Ooh,
Ooh.
someone's talking to HR.
And with that being said, see how many of these dogs we can give out.
What the?
I still do not understand the hot dog.
I
craze.
don't either. You should try to explain it to Bevan. You should.
I did a little bit. Like I don't. So we were sitting there, and I used to when I first. So basically, I had to do something. My stream even was boring for me to watch. It like there was just a lot of times where no one was really saying nothing. So I found Drew. Well, Drew was showing to me, and I was like, "Hey, I got a perfect idea for you." So Drew comes on, and like we start trying to bounce ideas back and forth of how to make everything better. And we were doing the segment on news of released sets. Well, the sets that came out January 1st, all the city sets, there's like, what all was it? There was like the police, the like
Yeah,
bus hideout or whatever it was. There
Oh,
Well,
was
there's like
yeah.
5 of them.
it's basically it started off with police and then went into fire.
there was every set had a hot dog in it. And it was just like Drew kept getting more and more excited about like if we could find on the box art somewhere the hot dog because there was one in the set.
Well, and it was that little $4 set. I didn't know they already made a black hot dog, and they had a black hot dog, and I thought it was a new piece, so I got all excited. But it's been around for a while, apparently. And
Yeah, I busted your bubble on that one.
yeah, that made me cry later that night. But that's a different story. But yeah, no, I think just because like on the box art and the way that Lego did it, the same guy that's burning a hot dog works at the fire station receiving 911 calls, and he's eating a hot dog.
Yeah,
And so it's just like the correlation was just hilarious, and now everyone's a Drew dog.
There was also what was it? There was a girl that was there's a prison they made, and in the prison there's a wanted poster, and it shows this picture of a girl, and then she's in the prison. But there's another set that came out, and I think it's the one that's got like the bus hideout thing. She's like running away from the trash. The trash has like a hot dog on it, and she's not in a like a jumpsuit yet. So it's like not only do they have like the guy starting the fire while cooking hot dogs and another set eating hot dogs, they have like the robber before and after. So it's just like a whole thing.
And the gift with purchase is a hot dog truck. So we're just running with it now.
Yeah, it was one of those things, and it just like it stuck. Like when I mean like it stuck, everyone kind of was like, does this mean that like, you know, Drew's out to look at all these hot dogs? And it was just like everybody came up with hot dogs. We were talking about like how many hot dogs can you buy if we just wanted to go buy a bunch of hot dogs. We found out that Mayo actually stores hot dogs in a Pringles can, which is still weird to us. We don't know.
And he says he has 300 of them, yet he still hasn't shown me the proof. He says he lost them. I blame his sleeping schedule like he does.
And guys, we have 24 people watching and only 10 likes. Stop what you're doing. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Beat it up. But let's get in with these mocks and see how many hot dogs we can give these things.
Heck yeah.
And Daryl, I want your opinion on these as a mock builder. These are stuff that me and Drew have came across on the internet. I have not seen what he's showing, and he has not seen what I've shown.
Oh.
Ooh.
The problem is I couldn't get any more pictures. This was the only picture they had, which was kind of disappointing.
Hey, time out. Now, I know it is expensive, but Dave Brix just said the Jazz Club has 3 hot dogs.
Ooh. So basically, Dave, what you're telling me is you're going to buy it for me. Thank you. I live at 123 Rich's house. So
Yeah, I'll give you my address. Just send him the that works
don't
out
worry.
perfect.
That way, Gene will just send it to me, so we're good.
No, Gene
So,
shipped-
so on that note, you can do better. The new hot dog cart or food truck has 2 hot dogs as parts and 2 hot dogs as extras.
There you go.
4 in one set.
There you
Man,
go.
all I'm saying is
So you give me one of those?
I got 2 more coming.
So you're just gonna give me one then, right? I'll pay. Give it to Gene. He'll ship it on over. It's all good. But no, I just like this one because it's very like what's the word? I guess the word's hyper realistic, like with the roof, like just sagging in the right places, and like
the roof
just
sagging to me makes more than that entire mock.
right.
Yeah.
It just looks beautiful.
It's
The
not
way that
just
like
that,
the
it's
crumbly.
It's the crumbly decay of the side, like the stucco is falling off, and
Right?
good color and parts.
Yeah, great coloring part. Now let
The
like
only thing
two different
I wish,
stories.
the only thing I wish they would have done is taken a sign and hung it where that light was to show that it was like a tavern or something.
Yeah,
I think
that
that
would
would
have
have just
cool.
popped it off so much more.
I hope this mock is not complete yet. They need to continue with it.
Maybe I should do one of my my buildings in the village decaying like that.
You should.
I love that. I love that distressed look on all the masonry.
Yeah, it looks
Oh, it
really
looks
nice.
amazing.
It's so cool.
And the amount of now I know at least there's a bunch of us in this chat that knows what it takes to get all of those different angles and then flip those bricks on the side and then use another snot brick to turn them back the right way.
Yeah,
There's a lot put into that.
very much so.
So Drew, zoom in on that trim around the door.
I can't.
You can't.
No, this is on Google Slides.
So I'm gonna do a shameless plug right now. I know exactly how to get that trim around the door. You go to Bevan's Bricks and you buy this tube that he sells, and it's a Lego tube, and you put all of the studs on it and you bend it.
Yep.
You want me to tell you how I know that? You want me to tell you how I know that?
Because you bought 5 of them.
Because I bought. Well,
There it is.
Yeah. I found out about that because I build all the Brickmania kits.
Yeah.
And like every Brickmania kit just about has some type of, I think they call it a rigid hose, don't they?
Yeah.
It's 3mm rigid hose.
Yeah. And using it, I was like, I cannot keep buying this at Lego's price. And then it's hard because you got to find the link that they want you to have. And my buddy was like, Bevan sells that stuff, right? And I was like, no. He was like, yeah, he sells it by the foot. I was like, okay, then.
It's pretty nice. But I just even know like the windows are all different, but they correlate together. Like technically the same builder who probably built a lot of this fantasy world, and not necessarily the Lego builder, but the builder of the world or whatever.
This
would
also
be
might be my opinion and only my opinion, but I think reddish brown accents white so well.
Oh, it does 100%.
Makes it pop.
100%. But and then we have a little small scale castle build. I don't know. I was feeling a castle mood this week, but I just like. I'm a big mock person, but I love when so much detail gets crammed into like 2 16 by 16s. It's just fun to me. And being in the construction field, I like seeing scaffolding and things being constructed.
To me, one of the most impressive things that he did with this is the trim on the top, how he was able to use the snot bricks and everything else to get that little line of gray. That's can be a real pain in the rear trying to do that and get it all to line up.
My least favorite thing about this is it's got 2 lion knights in it.
I know.
So as the Bricklink parts nerd, the thing that stands out to me, look at the 2 flags. Notice how the tips are pointing the same direction. He went to the trouble to get a right flag and a left flag. So the wind.
Oh, that's right. Because if they were flipped up, they would both be.
Oh, that's
How crazy
smart.
is that?
Look at the brain on Gene, man.
Sheesh.
Sheesh.
But I also like that. Why they're rebuilding this is because the Falcons came and knocked it down. That's the only reason why the Falcon's out there. I mean, not the Falcon, but the Lion Knight is out there.
Falcons didn't do their job. They're still standing.
Right. Although I guess what do we rate this mock?
I don't know.
I give that one an easy 9.
Yeah, I was
Easy
about to say that one. That one I do not see anything wrong with whatsoever. We can go ahead and let's go ahead and hit it with.
There you go.
With that 9
dog.
I concur.
All right, how about this one? I say it's a solid 7 to 8.
Yeah,
7.9.
There's a couple things like I don't like that there are Lion Knights there. But I also don't like how small it is. I love the detail in small builds, but something about my personality won't allow me to do something that small.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's cute. So I would say 7 would be the high.
7.
Let's
Yeah.
hit
7. All right, another cat. Feeling the way the
I just
snow
saw that the
lays.
other day.
Did you also catch? There's dead vines that go around the castle.
So me and Drew had a huge it was about 2 or 3 weeks ago. One of us showed, I think it was you brought it up. It was my mock to showcase, but he brought it up that the snow was laid in a way that some of it didn't make sense because snow's not going to get like underneath like a roof hanger.
Yeah.
And that is not the case on this. It is in the perfect place.
But there's too many points, though. Too many little drips of snow that it doesn't look fully realistic in that way.
Yeah, it's because he used that like weird teeth piece sideways, like the shark tooth piece sideways.
The 3 tooth.
Yeah. It doesn't look bad, but it looks too uniform.
I will say this is the first time I've ever seen the droid arms used as vines. I've got them.
Really?
I've got them used as a rope. There's someone crawling out of the top of the castle with it as a rope. But I'm using the tan. I'm also not using the black.
The downside to using them that way, though, is it actually tends to kind of wedge the hands open. So if you try to use them for anything else after this, they're kind of pretty much ruined.
Yeah, but I've got so many droids that come with extra arms, and they're actually the arm pieces are really cheap anyway.
Yeah. But you know what? I take it back. I take it back with the tooth pieces because when you think about it, where he has placed all those is where the exact same formation for the towers are built around. So of course it's going to be uniform snow layment.
Yeah, I just don't like that he uses how it has like 3 perfectly symmetrical teeth beside each other. But that's just me being picky.
Yeah.
It
does look like it's a Black Falcon soldier going to the Black Falcon fortress because I mean there is the Black Falcon at the top.
Yeah. And they also have they have a Viking shield.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
But the like when Bevan was talking about earlier, do you want to be called Bevan or do you want to be called Daryl?
Daryl's my name. You can call me Bevan. Just don't call me late for dinner.
I'm one of those type of people that I would spend the extra money to buy 1x1 plates and those the droop down pieces and stack it all at different heights versus having it straight across. But that's just because I'm that type of person.
Sure.
And I don't.
And as a Bricklink store owner, we like you for that, Richard.
The only other thing I will say is I'm a huge I'll appreciate my castle bricks, plates, and everything are 100% Lego, but I would have paid money to have that flag up top made out of fabric.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out.
I don't mind brick built flags. My only complaint would be is where do the walls begin and the rocks start? He should have used a different technique for the rocks because I'm assuming the base should have been a rock formation. And it looks like the stone of the castle. So it's like too much. There should have been 2 different textures that were done with it.
True.
I really like it though. That's a solid mock. And once again, it's a free build. It's built by there's no plates. It's just there.
All right, I give it an 8.5 to 8.9.
Yeah, I would say I would give it a solid 8.
Solid 8.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
hit it with
solid
that
8. Then this is another small but Geonosis Battlefront 2. That's one of my favorite games.
Man,
the fact I don't know if you guys have all played this game or seen gameplay. It looks exactly like the game and how the rock work is detailed, because he didn't use just slopes and bricks. He wedged plates
man, I was
in
gonna say,
there,
there's tons of
like
plates
the
in there.
shelf and the way that it is up there. Even though it's a small mock, I give it away to how many plates he used.
I've
It is-
only got one complaint about this picture.
What?
I wish he would have laid it down on another color of a table and another color.
I know, right?
Yeah. Background should have been like blue or something.
Yeah. Black would have looked really, I would have really popped really
Yeah,
well.
yes, it would have.
And this guy's got Clone Army Customs in there.
Yeah, and
Scroll back
we're
one.
gonna call those Bevan's lights right in there. So
Scroll back one. Oh, so he does not have the clone droids, but
no,
he
because
has,
this was released way before then.
yeah, I was gonna say, but he has the Clone Army Customs guys.
Yeah. But this helmet and this placement at this door opening at that height of the build is actually in the game. So, we gotta go back. But there you go. Well, for me personally, this is a 10. I mean, just the right characters he used, the way it's built, it's a 10 for me.
That's a solid. I really agree with that. Like I said, my only problem has nothing to do with the mock whatsoever. It has to do,
with the background. No, I agree with you.
I give it a 9 just because it doesn't stand out because of the background.
All right, it's a 9.
You want to hit it with that?
Then you already got a sneak peek, and for some reason I really like when neon colors are matched with other colors, especially neon green. I don't know why, but he made a Ferrari into rally racing.
Is that the Cybertruck?
Right? But I'm a huge rally racing person, and taking really expensive racing cars and expensive cars and making them into rally, like Porsche 911s into rally car, I just freak out over. And the fact that he took a Ferrari one, and I can't take it. I just love it too much.
That reminds me out of like 100% of something you would buy in GTA and like go customize and come out like that.
Exactly.
The beach cruiser.
Right?
It's like you're there for style, but you're also ready to party just in case something goes down.
Right? This one, this is a 10 for me. That's personal belief.
On such a small scale, it's got great detail.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Is that go back a picture? Is it gonna let you? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 8 wide too, man. That's speed champion scale.
Yeah, exactly.
That almost gives me like painted Mad Max vibes.
Right?
Yeah.
I wish he would have got a custom sticker for his license plate. That would have been cool.
I really like the slot that he created down the side of it.
Mm-hmm. Because that's not a brick. That's like taking the sideways panel plates and lifting it up.
Yeah.
Or dropping it down for this case.
That's really cool.
Right?
And I can tell you the light bar across the top is going to make a lot of wind noise.
Oh, yeah, easily. But we're not here for wind. No, we're not here for noise. Well, I think the roar of the engine will be louder than the whistling. At least it better be. All right, Rich, what do you rate this one? It has a beautiful background. A beautiful background.
I'm gonna say that I'll give it a 10. I'll give it a 10.
I'm there.
What about you?
I'm there.
Bevan?
9.
He's gonna hit it.
No! No! Number 10 slideshow. It's so nice. It's so close. It's okay. I'll get to a 10 at some point.
The only reason I say 10, I don't like the 8 wide cars because they don't go into a Lego city. They don't. They're too big.
Okay. I can respect
That's
that.
the only reason I'm giving it a 9.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
We got some new people in the house. Arrow thing says that's sick. Reminds me of a Lancia Stratos. Nate says AKV Brix did an expansion on his Geonosis mocks you just featured, which is also really sweet. It includes the Delta Squad.
Oh,
and
shit.
Mayo said lime green always looks good on cars. Let's
Yeah, but I will say the one thing about the lighting on that one is it looked halfway between lime green and that new neon yellow.
Yeah. I seen that new neon yellow today on the picker brick wall, and it's just I don't know what you would do with that color.
It's weird.
Oh,
We've got a bunch
there's
of
a lot
pieces
to
in it.
do
It's
with it if
weird.
you got the right lighting.
So of course everyone knows that I can't pick a small mock. I have to go with
Dude,
something
I
extremely
love this guy
huge.
so much. Especially that he did Venice. Dude.
Yeah, like it's big, but it looks so good.
Well, everything is down to even his sailboats are custom.
Yeah. And
This guy's an
The
amazing
sails
builder.
even look custom made.
they're I've
They're
got a
brick
better
built.
better picture of them, but they're brick built. They're the tile triangles.
Oh,
But like everything, like the bridge is all built, like nothing in here is a solid big Lego piece. Everything is small pieces.
Jeez.
And it's just like, God, it's beautiful.
What is that tile roof made out of?
The one
those
by
are
one
two-
half
one by
round.
one round bricks, I think,
Yep. The
Wow.
cylindrical
with,
pieces.
with a row of plates in between each row of bricks.
Yeah, Gene, turn around and look at the theater. It's the same way.
Okay.
It's
That's
I
a
mean,
beautiful
like
build.
it looks really good. And I love
Oh,
how
and he has Assassin's
Oh,
Creed.
well, I'm gonna tell you why he has Assassin's Creed.
Oh, because of the pot. Yeah.
But I mean, like everything, like even the brick built flags, like I said, the brick built sails, I'm not too big of a fan on. But in this one, I'm not going to complain because like everything is custom. Like he's literally built everything.
Well, he's
The
done his
awesome
research.
thing about this, the way that he did the brick built sails, is when they're tied up like that, that actually looks very natural as opposed to I've
Yeah.
seen other people try to take the cloth ones and wrap them up and they don't look as good. That looks a lot better.
He's even got rubber bands and the strings
Just to
like
give it that
everywhere.
tie,
Like,
yeah.
Well, even the sail ropes are tied up with the hollow studs.
Yeah.
It's.
I mean, like it looks so
You're
beautiful.
gonna get my first 10.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Check
like
out the
it's
gondolas.
just. But that's why it looks like Assassin's Creed.
It's an 8 now. No, I'm kidding.
Go back one.
Makes sense.
Go back one. He's pushing waves off the side of the gondola. Look at the
Yeah.
texture.
That looks good.
Wow.
I tried to complete this, but the only reason that I didn't was I'm pretty sure when you look at this, I don't know now that I look at it, but I wanted to say he used the net.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Like even the water coming out of the spout, it's like a little flame.
Well, even what the gondola ties up to, the post that's the blue and white to the left,
Yeah,
is like
leaning.
it's leaning, and that's very accurate in Italy.
Like everything just looks so good.
I like that the wands are part of the bridge. That looks good.
Oh, he didn't even break them off the spurs. He kept them on
No.
there.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah,
sick.
I give it a solid 10.
Mm.
I'm on a 10 on that one.
I mean, it's beautiful.
Rich, congratulations. You have reached dog level 10. Oh, I wanted that so bad.
That's the only reason you wanted me to say 10, so you could get True Dog up there.
I wanted the True Dog so bad. On the first episode, I wanted True Dog. Oh.
But I got some more like up close pictures. Like I was trying to go against like having a bunch of pictures, but like even the little sailboats used of the arm pads. I mean, he's got like the little microphone to show a little bit of like gold against the pole that's locked up. I mean, it was just like every time I looked at a picture, I found something else.
Yep. Are those snakes? Go back.
Those
Are
were
those-
snakes on the arc.
Yeah, those are snakes up there on
Yeah,
the arch. That's so cool.
this is
There's
one
a-
of
there's
my
a
favorite
lot going
pictures out of the entire mock.
Yes.
I absolutely love that.
Yeah, that looks good.
That fountain is perfect.
Yeah, looks nice.
I
I
like
like
the
how
buskers with the Mookie.
right.
The what? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Buskers.
yeah.
I like the tied up wheat going in the wheelbarrow. It looks really nice. Which it looks like two hair pieces. I can't tell though.
I mean, he's got, like I said, there's just so much detail in this thing.
Yeah, it looks good. Oh, he's making a croissant.
He's making a croissant.
Croissant.
Where's them hot dogs at?
Yeah, where them dogs at, boy? Where them dogs at?
And then I got some more
Oh.
close up of the house. Or the house.
Oh,
list.
even there's a bird's nest in the house, and he used like the whip as as vines, dude. That looks amazing,
I'm gonna have to go buy a bunch of whips now.
right?
Does Haley know?
Maybe. This is next.
Hmm.
I know you brought a castle to the table, so I might as well bring a castle to the table.
Is this actually brick built or is this on IDD?
I don't know because it looks brick built.
Hmm.
It looks
That's
way
brick
too
built.
clean to be brick built, but it looks brick built.
No, that's brick built.
I guess it's got to be brick built because it has the pigs in it, and the pigs you can't get both ways.
Well, people have done modifications like that pretty easily.
Yeah,
That's not hard, but
but this one is like the grapevines, which the grapevine technique is a little. I think it would have been cooler if they actually used those like berry pieces, and the sand being all basically one color kind of throws me off because everybody knows that like with my castle I tried to make everything as detailed as possible, but like the sand and the grass and I don't know, it's just all being one color is a little too much.
There's some things that look 10 out of 10, and then there's some things that look like that picture where someone was beautifully drawing a horse and then it turns into a six-figure horse at the end. Like, dude, this fence idea is brilliant. It looks amazing. The pig pen looks amazing, but the grapevines, dude, the wine house,
I mean, it's
The
very
thing with the
basic.
grapevines, though, is they look good from far away. It's when you get
Yeah.
up close, it's get ugly.
Yeah,
So they say good from far, but far from good.
basically. I love the wine storage. That looks great.
You know, though, sometimes the simplest techniques are the best just to get attention.
Yeah.
So on a scale of 1 to 10 of their skill versus my mock skill, that's about a 45.
Or are those hammers as the road?
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't does anyone own that many hammers?
4.
No.
So I think this is not a real life build.
I don't know. I've seen that before though.
But that's a
Yeah,
lot
but
of
Bricks by
hammers.
Pity, he's actually a pretty popular builder.
He got custom printed tiles
What tile?
to
That?
your right. Yeah.
That's all K-Town bricks. So I'm gonna tell you
Oh,
right now,
okay.
it's brick built.
K-Town does some amazing printing.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
saying
they do.
I have all those hanging up in a message board in my castle. I love how he's got like the falcon chained up.
Yeah.
I love the tree design. Whoops.
His trees are awesome. I love this stand. Stand looks great.
Yeah. But it's like I said, it's really good. There's a lot of detail in it. But at the same time, like when I don't know, it's just it looks really good until you look at the grapevines, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So the lighting throws me off a little. It's hard to tell if that is olive or sand green. And I think it's olive. And if
It's
it is,
olive.
Olive.
Yeah, it's
awesome.
That is, hey, that's not Lego. Zoom in. Zoom in. Take your hand down and right. There's an open stud, a hollow stud on a 2x2 tile.
Here.
Where?
Go left of the guy with bald hair.
There is.
See the 2x2 up and left, right
No,
there.
that's a
Ah,
well. No, because there's another one here.
Unless that's the half brick.
That is not.
Lego
that
doesn't
is-
make that though.
That is not a Lego piece.
It's a flower piece. Look right here.
So is it a flower in an L that's out of focus?
No, they're flower pieces.
Yep.
Does Lego make an olive green flower though?
I don't know, Gene. Do they?
Looking at that,
Brickin?
I'm going to say that's off-brand parts, but I can't knock them for that. With we had a discussion a little bit kind of off camera about that. I don't blame people for using off. You can actually stop right there and just kind of look at the pieces. You can see the divot in the middle, and that is
Yeah.
common with most off brands.
Yeah.
See that little divot in the brick or the
Yeah.
plate?
Yep. The mold
This is-
injection points on the pips.
Yeah, this is off-brand parts. But I don't, like I said, I don't knock people for doing it because
I'm
Lego's
pretty
just
sure-
got so great.
I'm pretty sure all the figures are K-Town. I know that right there is K-Town, and I
Yeah.
know that is.
Okay, it's definitely off-brand because that flower piece did not come in olive green.
Oh man, that ruined it. Well,
Can't give it a 10.
Can't,
can't give it a 10. Can't give it a 10. I'm gonna hit it with that. I'm gonna hit it with that 7.
Mm.
You know what I want? You guys need one that's a hammer so you can watch pieces explode or something.
Yeah.
The band
You know what I
hammer.
mean? If everybody, so when you see like that, for example, and we just finally discovered that it's off-brand, you could just take the hammer and give it the whack.
Just no dog.
No dogs
No dog.
No dog.
or raw dog.
Oh,
Rich, you just raw dogged all of us with Pity's build, man.
I know. But I mean,
we
it,
spent all that time on a non-Lego build.
do what?
We spent all that time on a non-Lego build.
I know.
Man, that's 7 minutes I can't get back. Just
Like I said,
kidding.
though, still can't complain all in all though, because like
Yeah,
I
it
said,
was a
with
great
the price
build.
of parts, it's
Yeah, the creativity's still there, definitely.
It's a good looking build, but like I was saying before, if it ain't Lego, I kind of feel a little something about it. Should have done
I'm
more
with
research.
you because I still have because I want to buy off-brand stuff just because I could go even bigger and crazier with some of the stuff I do. But it's that I don't know, nothing feels like Lego. The clutching power of it, the
Yeah, the
texture of
clicking
it.
noise. Oof. Can't get better than that.
So, Daryl, it's kind of funny you mentioned that. When we're sorting through bulk used stuff, we've gotten to a point where we can tell that it's not Lego just by the way the plastic feels.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Will said since we raw dogged a castle build, does that mean they're Trojan warriors?
Nice. Nice. Nice.
Man,
That's good.
it's time to
Hey,
log
Will.
off. It's time to log off. But now that we've done all that, let's get to go, Mr. Daryl. Let's get to know him a little personal. So, what's your credit card?
Tell us what's your banking statement.
Yeah.
Let me get it for you.
Thank you. What's your and credit score? Last 4 digits of social? CVV?
What was the first street that you lived on?
What is your mother's maiden name?
Date of birth.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. What got you into Lego?
I got back into Lego around 98, 99, and I guess it'd been 99. What got me into Lego is I am a huge Star Wars geek, and that 99 was when they started releasing Lego Star Wars.
Yeah.
And I thought, holy crap, how cool would this been when I was a kid? And I bought way too much that year.
What's
Heck,
your,
They didn't have a lot, but I bought a lot of each set. Let me put it that
Yeah.
way.
with that being said, what's your Holy Grail Star Wars set?
honestly, I really can't say I have one, because anything that I've ever wanted, I've just bought it, and some of it I've even sold off. So, so even the Death Star, and I know a lot of people, and this was something, a discussion I had on my channel a long time ago, because I don't have to have everything. Some things, for example, I know, like for a Star Wars nut, the Millennium Falcon's a big deal. But I don't buy any of the Ultimate Collector Series stuff. And
Really?
the reason I don't is quite simply this. If I was going to build a display or a mock or something, there's nothing I can use it for. It's too big. So for me, why spend the money and invest on it? I'd rather have the minifigs and the smaller builds and things of that nature. That's just my 2 cents on it.
So
But
how do you
not
feel
only
when
that-
like, oh, sorry, like just to go off with the UCS and like, because they added minifigures to them now. Are you willing to go pay that extra premium to get that minifigure on Bricklink, or just forget about it?
No, just forget about it. That's just, like I said, but I'm more into, I know a lot of people are heavy into minifigs, where I'm more into the parts. I want the pieces.
Yeah.
The minifigs, don't get me wrong, I like minifigs, and there are certain ones that that are must-haves for me, but it's not, the minifigs aren't that big of a deal to me as much as it is unique parts, printed parts specifically. I have a real obsession with printed parts.
Well, if it's not a set, what about a minifig? What's the one minifig that you just had to have?
As far as, well, when I first started out, I had to have them all. I wanted the Ewoks and all that, but it's funny because the Ewoks that I have compared to like the ones they have now, the difference is night and day. Because back when I first started collecting, the reason I bought a lot of sets was, like I said, just to build like an Ewok army and things. And they didn't have any printing really on the face or anything, and it was basically they were all, Wicket.
We got a brown Wicket, we got a
low
white
grade.
Wicket, a green Wicket.
I mean, they all look the same, just different color codes. Where now it's, they got different fur on them and their eyes, and but I can't say that I've ever missed one. I've always got everything I ever wanted, as far as if I wanted it anyway. One thing I wished I would have bought more of would have been the walkers, which they just came out with a new version of the clone walkers. You know what I'm talking about? So I thought about trying to stock up on a few of those. But the first time they came around, I only bought one, and it was like, man, I wished I'd have bought more. But that's the thing with Star Wars, is Lego every couple of years just keeps recycling it, and just
history
comes out with
repeats
a new
itself.
But
for some reason, it keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller and more expensive. Straight raw dogging us with those prices.
So I've done like the exact opposite of you. I went after the UCS Millennium Falcon is the whole reason I have a YouTube channel. The Millennium Falcon is nowhere near on my, like, I'm going to say top 10 Star Wars vehicles. It was nothing more than I had extra money and wanted the biggest and baddest Lego set that was out at the time. Now, I will say that I do have the original Death Star, and that is probably like the one set that I don't know why I like it so much, because it's really like, you said you have that one?
Yeah, it's probably right over there under the TV.
It's so unstable, and it's just like a bunch of plates everywhere. There's no like dimension to it, but I don't know what it is. But I do what?
Talking about the Falcon?
No, the Death Star.
Well, see, to me, I mean, I don't know. That's one of my favorite builds as far as the Star Wars builds go. The ones that I didn't like, I bought them, but after I looked at them enough, it was the original Death Star, where it looked like it was in the rebuild process.
That's what I'm saying. That's the one I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. After I had it for a while, and I thought, you know what? The only thing I'm going to do with this is open it and part it. So I sold it. I thought there's no point in opening it and parting it out, So
I could not bring myself to selling that set. I couldn't do it. You'd have to offer me. Do what?
I said I have that, the original Tan of 4. I have the original, or had. I sold all mine. Was it the Death Star? Not the Death Star. The Star Destroyer. I got all. I had all of it and sold it all.
Mm.
So you're
It's
just
at
not
some
like
point.
held down to anything.
It's just, for me. It's like I said with Star Wars. It's just it's to a point because of the fact that they do constantly re-release everything and they improve it and whatever. That I'm not really. That's why I've gotten kind of more into City, because to me, even though I love Star Wars and that's what got me back into Lego,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of got bored with it because it's like they're not really making any movies. The movies they did make were I'm going to say subpar.
Yeah.
As far-
Oh
as
man,
far as
here we go.
mainstream.
Another
But-
sequel hater.
The sequels
liked
were
it.
not good. I'm sorry, they were terrible.
No, they sucked.
They
I
sucked.
like the original trilogy, and I even like the prequel. Other than I hated Jar Jar Binks in the first episode, but I still like. But
That
the
poor
the
guy
sequel, I'm
catches so
sorry,
much
those
crap.
are the worst Star Wars movies I have ever seen.
Should have left Palpatine dead.
Yes.
Why bring him
Now,
back? There's no reason.
If you want to talk about something that's good with Star Wars, it's and it just left my mind. The Disney series, they're coming out with part 2 and next year.
Ahsoka?
Repeat that.
Ahsoka?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that show. That is
It was
what
good.
the sequels should have been. Something along that lines.
Mhm.
That would have been an excellent movie. The garbage that they did, it was just. I mean, they built another Death Star. It was built out of a planet this time, so it was even bigger than before. And it was, it was just. It's like it was the same old story told over again. But I mean, I guess if you look at it in the aspect of history repeats itself, well, the movie repeated itself.
Yeah, right.
See, I don't care for Kylo whatsoever. I think Kylo was made out to be a big wuss, and I do think that they could have made up for every mistake they had in that movie if the last episode period just had Rey going to the dark side. I think that it would have just made up for everything. And I don't understand why they didn't let her and why they kept her on the good and then brought like Kylo with her, and then it just didn't make any sense.
No.
Of course, then bringing back Palpatine, like if you're in Star Wars and you die, don't worry, wait a couple years, you'll be back.
Yeah.
Come back. And then my other pet peeve, to me, you took what was supposed to be from the original trilogy, the biggest Barney tough Jedi ever, Luke Skywalker. That's what they made him out to be. And they turned him into some idiot drinking milk off the tit of some animal on an island. You know what I mean? It was like, what the hell happened to this guy? It's like, did he fall off the wagon? You know what I mean? Supposed to be the best
100%.
Jedi in the galaxy, and now he's doing this. To me, they destroyed the character for no reason, no good reason at all.
I wish that even though he was like how he was with him being in hiding, I think one of the things that was so weird is he went in hiding pretty much because, I mean, honestly, of Vader. Like, Vader was trying to help destroy the Jedi. Like, we get it. But Vader was dead, and he still stays disappeared. Like, there was no villain out there looking for anybody. There was no reason for him to be, like, secluded on a planet.
No.
And I think part of it, too, though, that killed me, besides of what I just said, it's I don't know if you guys ever read, there was a lot of different books that were out when I was younger. And one of the novels, I guess we'll call it, that I read when I was younger, it was Leia and Han Solo got married, which they did that in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They had 2 kids.
Mm-hmm.
And in that novel series, one kid went to evil and one kid went to good.
Mm-hmm.
And Luke reopened the Jedi Academy. His sister trained with him. And I mean, it was this big thing. The Jedi Order was slowly being restored. And I kind of already had all that mindset when I went to look at the movies. So the way that they did it, it was just like, ugh.
Well, you know what I fear is they're about to tell that story with Rey.
Yeah.
Because
she's going to be the one that takes off with the Academy.
The next movie is about her, or the next trilogy is about her restarting the Jedi
and saving the space horses. We gotta save them from gambling. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! We don't really care about the little slave kids there. We just need to save the horses.
Horses, yeah.
Like, what the heck?
Like half the movie was spent at a space Las Vegas that did nothing. Like, what is the point of this?
That was just, to me, that particular movie was just it was the never-ending story. It was like they just kept throwing up work boards that somebody came up with. You know what? Let's go do this direction now. And the whole time, there's a group of people on a. This is what killed me about that particular movie. You got everybody trapped on the spaceship. They're trying to outrun the evil empire that's right behind them, and they're slowly running out of gas, and they can't get away. But yet you have a crew of people that were able to fly off, go to an island, have all these adventures, and then come back to the ship, only to be trapped by the empire, still tracking that same ship.
Exactly.
Like, so you escaped to come back, I don't know. It was a horrible story.
Billion different kinds of ships. I hated that because, like, I know one of them's wrong, and like we're all just riding space horses across a freaking starship. It doesn't even make any sense. My favorite is like, we got to get rid of the Kid Slayer 9000, but we'll use this evil ancient Sith Lord crap that if you hold just right, nothing has moved in 9 billion years, that it lines up just right. Like, dear Lord, like, somebody help me understand what this is.
It was trying to find the right words.
So, Daryl, what led you to go from Star Wars to lighting?
Well, first, after playing with the Lego for so long, what got me, because like I said, originally that was what got me back into it, was Star Wars. And what happened is they came out with the Cafe Corner.
Yep.
And when they came out with the Cafe Corner, I'm like, oh, I wanted to build a city then, because when I was a kid growing up, I was into whole-scale trains and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I saw that Cafe Corner, and I thought, man, I could actually build a really cool-looking city with this stuff. So I kind of jumped tracks, left Star Wars, and started going down the city line. And my trade, because I've been an electrician for 30 years now, I've always been obsessed with lighting and electricity. And you can't have a train display or any display without some lights.
Right.
So I started trying a lot of different companies' lighting kits. And some of it was good, some of it was garbage. And what I found myself doing is I was constantly buying people's products only to get them home, cut them, solder them, add this, cut that, change this because I didn't like it. Mm-hmm. And I thought, why am I doing all this when I can buy the parts myself and just make it the way that I think it should be made to begin with? And then that's kind of where I'm at now.
What made you want to do it to a point where you were selling it?
It was because with my channel, I always had a lot of followers, and a lot of people used to watch and try and get tips from the custom stuff that I was doing as far as the lighting and all that. People were constantly asking me, why don't you just sell it? Why don't you just sell it? I would buy it from you as opposed to all these other companies. And I kept thinking, there ain't no way. And the more I looked into it and the more I played around with the idea, I thought, maybe I can do this. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it for a small time just to see what happens. Because originally I was working with one company, and I'm not even going to mention the guy's name because I personally would choke him if I saw him. But I started out kind of helping him and working with him, and I was giving him ideas that I had of what I think would make good products. Mm-hmm. And then I'd see him come out with them and, charging the money and this, that, and the other. And it's like, why am I spending all my time designing stuff for this person to benefit?
Right.
And then I still have to buy the product from them. It's like, why don't I just do it myself? That way I have whatever I want, and then I'm helping everybody else have what I consider to be better products.
True that.
So that's kind of, at least I think they're better products, but.
I mean, that's like the perfect story. Like anybody that has a business where they make money for themselves always starts with, well, I was buying stuff from people and had a better idea.
Mhm.
100%. Like that's just how it started. And then hearing that, I guess that transition where you said you were doing what you wanted to do, but for somebody else by your own rules, is that point where you're just like, why am I doing it? I'm doing it for me, that he's benefiting from it type situation.
Right.
Yeah.
And I thought, why am I having, why? And it's kind of the same scenario as, with anything, even just with your daily job. Why am I going in and kicking my own butt for somebody else's benefit? If you're going to kill yourself, you might as well kill yourself for yourself.
Right.
Putting it a bit brisk, but you get my point.
Yeah.
So did you work for yourself as an electrician then?
No, I maintain 2 airports. I maintain Detroit
Oh, wow.
Metropolitan and Willow Run Airport electrical departments.
Nice.
I've
Do
been
you
there
still
for 20 years now.
do you still do that now?
I'm sorry.
Do you still do that now?
Yeah. No, I'm currently right now we have 21 electricians that maintain the airport. Kind of limited at some of the stuff I can say because I got a gag clause, but
Yeah.
but like I said though, I do maintain 2 major metropolitan airports, the power distribution system, airfield lighting, buildings, you name it. I can flip a switch and shut the whole place off.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
And that's because that's something that a lot of people used to follow me for too. Was I used to have that massive airport that I built with all my lighting on it,
Right.
and that was part of my passion for it because I am literally working at an airport with the FAA with Fire 139 codes, and so that's part of my background. I know it, so it was like I kind of had to do it at an airport.
Yeah.
And I'm probably gonna do another one, but I think I think I can do it better this time.
Yeah.
And some of that's going to be because I think I still have them sitting around here somewhere, but I had designed my airfield signage and whatnot. I didn't mind it. It was brick built, but I want it to look more like it should at the airport, which illuminated. So when the red is bright and white, and I'm trying to work on designing some stuff where I can actually illuminate some signs the correct way they should be.
That'd be
And
pretty
maybe even be able to do that for things like a Taco Bell or a McDonald's or an In-N-Out burger sign or whatever. But still playing with ideas.
Yeah.
It sounds like your brain works a lot like mine. Like you get a good idea and then the ADHD kicks in and then you're doing another idea. And halfway through doing that idea, you're like, wait a minute, I've got the perfect idea how to light these signs. And now you've got like half a train built, half a flashing light built, and half a sign built. And you're like, sweet, let's finish one of these right after I figure out how to light this flame.
And that is the biggest problem with my head is it's like you said, I mean, I can get up from this table because I want to go get something to work on my train motor that I'm working on. And by the time I walk to the other side of the barn, I've got 2 other ideas and projects in my head that I'm working on.
Exactly.
Because I tripped on a part or I saw something.
You like pick a part up and you're like, I could put a light in that.
Exactly. Because speaking of which, that's something I am starting to do. I'm going to start offering some of my lights that are installed in pieces. I'm using off-brand parts to put them in because I know a lot of people would cringe with the drilling, even though I don't mind drilling in Lego parts either. I do it all the time, but it's more affordable though for me to buy them in bulk, off-brand as opposed to real. And the fact that I'm gluing lights and everything into them. But the reason that I'm doing it is a lot of people are afraid of pinching their wires and whatnot. And a lot of times they do pinch them if they install them wrong. And by me offering them inside of a plate already, there's nothing to pinch. And you can still snap it on top and snap stuff on top of it. And you still have your light. So that's another new product that's coming.
I noticed that firsthand. I haven't even said it in a video yet or showed it in a video. I had a picture that got put on Instagram that was in front of my walkway up to the castle. I have skeleton heads and torsos that the heads have spears through them. And people were like, you drilled through a skeleton head? And I was like, no, I actually found out that the skeleton head costs more than the spear. So I cut the spear. And they were like, well, why would you do that? I'm like, because I didn't want to drill through the head of a skeleton. Like, it didn't mind me if I had to, but it was obvious to pick out the weakest link, and the cheapest thing was a spear. So I cut it. And they were like, well, why would you do that? And I'm like, because
looks
no
cool.
one else has it.
Exactly. No one else is doing it.
I had thought about, just because of how people, because when I build my mills plates, I don't know if you can see it or not, but I drill right through the 4x4 for the mills plate and the tile piece, because I put my light poles on it. That way my wire is down in my mills plate.
Right.
And people, when they see me doing that, they're always like, oh my God. And it's like, yeah, and it's official pieces too.
Yeah.
The thing that a lot of people don't understand, though, is even though you wasted, I mean, you wasted, you didn't really even waste, but you used what, 25 cents worth of pieces right there?
Well,
That's okay.
I've purchased 10,000 of this part. So it's not like I'm not damaging. That's why I don't understand when people get all upset when they see you drilling into something. It's like, this is not a rare part.
But for every
20,000
city that you ever build from now on, you have that piece.
Yes. Yep. And that's why I got them sitting over here, because I destroyed a bunch of my buildings, and now I still got the piece that's drilled. And when I do my next street, that's where my street poles are going.
We got some new people in the chat. We got Brick Style and
Macro Bricks.
What's up? What's up, Macro?
Brick Style shop with this drop heat of
with
Star
the
Wars.
with the Republic gunship drop. Daryl, if you like Star Wars Lego material, look at the shirt right here. Look at the shirt. Look at the shirt.
Brick Style Shops makes them, and if you use my name when you check out, you can get 10% off.
Well, we're going to call that the shameless plug.
Exactly.
Well, that's actually not shameless at all. We need to plug that. But that isn't. That's pretty cool. Like I built my city, and when I had the city built, everyone was like, "Did you light it?" And of course, I didn't, just because when I thought about lighting it, it was to the point of it was too far gone. And anybody out there in the chat, if you're not that big of a mock builder, if you plan to use lights in a mock, do not build the mock yet.
Yeah.
Build it with the lights, or at least leave a space for where you can add the lights in. Yep. Because you are going to hate yourself when you have to take it apart.
I honestly, a lot of times I build stuff and then I light it after, but I don't mind building it twice.
And by that, what he means is he takes something apart and's like, how did I have this together? Well, let's rebuild it a different way.
So you get me.
Right? What's going on, Chef? What's going on, Secret Squirrel? What is up, Shy?
Yo, Shy.
I've done that in the castle. I removed all the lights, and when I removed all the lights, I didn't I've used like slopes to show cracks in the wall, and I've just kind of ran the wire through it because it's easily hid, and I didn't worry about basically covering them back up. I was like, well, if I ever decide to put lights in it again, which now me and you've been talking, once I figure out exactly how many I need, which I think me and you figured out the light portion, it's everything else, the castle will be lit up again. And it's so easy to know that, all right, if you're putting a torch here while you're building it, you need to figure out how you're going to run the wire, and then you can just stop there. Or like Daryl just said, if he has the plate already drilled, he already knows where it's going to sit. It does help out a lot more than if you're going, well, now that I have this light, how do I get a wire to it?
Yeah.
And there is a lot of, but it's that way with even just building mocks. There's a lot of pre-thought that has to go into it when you're doing it. But another thing too, though, is it's at least the way that I like to do stuff. And again, my main focus is city stuff now. But a lot of people, they think when you build something, it's like the entire building is supposed to be illuminated, and it's like, no. If you're driving through a city and you're looking at a building, is every light in every window illuminated? No. You might have one here, you might have one over there. You want to make it sporadic and different. You don't want it to be all nice and like, ooh.
Perfect.
blinding when you're looking at it.
This is Lego, not Barbie.
Exactly.
So I've got a question that is gonna. I hope it doesn't start an argument, but I've got out of city just because of the simple fact that I did not like when you go to a convention. Everyone does a city, and a city to me, you're only going to find very few that you can look at and be like, "Wow, that is really good." Because once you build a tower, how does your tower stand out against somebody else's tower? And that's one of the things I've always looked at. So, what made you migrate to city?
I just, like I said, from when I was a kid, I was always into host scale trains and train displays and things like that. And to me, I'm still getting to play with my Lego hobby, but I'm doing it in a new way. And I don't know if you've played with trains or not, but they are oof.
Yeah.
Dean was the big train guy. I actually never messed with trains at all. I was when I was younger, it was Lego, and oddly enough, it was nothing to do with Star Wars. It was like Johnny Thunder, and I loved like pharaohs and pyramids, and then I loved like the UFO aspect. And I
see all that stuff was. You're obviously younger because when I was a kid, it was you had doors, windows, white, black, blue, red, and green. That was it. Those were your parts. There wasn't many selections and pieces, or that's why I said Star Wars brought me back in because it was like, holy crap! It really to look at today's sets and to look at what brought me back to Lego. It's like that was really cheesy looking sets back in 1999, but there was so many new pieces for me from the 70s that didn't exist. That was why I was like, whoa, and that drew me back in.
Did you see that Will said that it would be cool to have lights just turn on and off randomly in each building to make it look like real life?
And you can do that, but that's where I was talking. I think we were talking off camera though with that. That's when you start getting into the Raspberry Pis and programming.
Yeah.
And there's different ways that it can be done, and I'm always thinking of new ideas and ways that I can try and do stuff. So I'm never going to be done building products. I didn't just start doing lighting just to make a couple things and say screw it. I am constantly working on new things. And I just don't share a lot of
it. That is one good thing that a lot of people I think overlook when it comes to Lego is even with you doing the lights, Lego has that light pole, the lamppost that they've been using forever. But they could come out next week with a new lamppost, and that new lamppost gives you another idea. Or they come out with a new piece that is so much easier to light, or so much it needs light. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's always the advancement. If you built a building 10 years ago, I promise you there is better pieces to build that building now.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And that's why it always cracks me up when people, on my channel, it was last year, I think, with my old city. I took half of it and I just threw it on the floor and I filmed it as I was tossing it. And people are like gasping. They're like, "Oh my God, it's this, it's that." And it's like, it's freaking Lego. The reason I like Lego is because it's recyclable. If I don't like it anymore, I can rip it apart and I can use the pieces elsewhere. That is the benefit of Lego.
That's a 10 out of 10 dog right there.
Right. And
play that right now, Rich. Play that right now. That was a 10 out of 10.
Talk. The
that
real
was
talk.
Real... That was dog kind of stuff right there.
Now Drew can finally say he got the dogs.
Well, my point that I was going to get though is that I really think it's a very, very, very small amount of people in the Lego community that are actually mock builders. Most people, they build something and then you might as well have glued it together because they're never going to take it apart.
Yeah.
And that's just, it's not me. I don't leave any, I don't care how good something looks. Even my Avengers Tower, I've debated on taking a baseball bat to it just for the hell of it. I don't care. I can build it again if I wanted it, or I could build it better though, because there's more parts.
Paul said it was actually nice to see you toss that nasty looking parking garage.
Well, it was, I want to knock him in the head. The whole point of that parking garage though was to show people, because back when I built that, the only way you could buy plates, and they still probably are selling them that way, is you had to get that stupid intersection piece.
Yeah.
To get a straight. So I wanted a ton of straights. So I had like 36 of these freaking intersection pieces that nobody wants. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what? I'm going to figure out a way to use them. And I used them to build my monstrosity of a parking garage. I was like, there's a use for them now. Instead of just throwing them in the pile and cutting them up.
I bought like 30.
True that.
I bought like 30 of those sets when they first came out to do the streets. And as soon as I got done with my city, I gave them away. I gave every straight, every intersection, every thing away. And I promised myself that if I were to ever, because you're not an 8-wide fan, I'm an 8-wide fan. And I promised myself that if I were to ever build another city that involves streets, I would just brick build it.
Brick built roads to me are the best way to go. They're outrageously expensive, but they are the best way to go. As far as appearance, but with me doing lighting, what I found is that new road plate that everybody hates is the best way to go. And I say that because you have that cavity underneath it. I can hide control boards, wires, plugs, connections, splicing kits. And that's why I like that piece, even though I know a lot of people, it's because it has all the holes that you have to fill with the plates and all that. But
Right.
I use the modular building connectors that I sell. I pop it in that, and now I can take cars and randomly move them around on my city because I can put the plates in that piece. So
I'm sure this is something you might know off the top of your head. It costs what, $5 for one of those 16x16 plates off of Bricklink? What does one cost to brick build a snot road? What is it about? For the same size, you're probably talking $15.
Yeah, it's always been hard for me because I've made videos trying to show people how cheap it is to do a brick built road. And then people tell me I'm smoking crack because there's no way I can do it at the price that I'm claiming. But it's like people are making comments on a video that's 3 years old, and it's like, there's no relation to time, inflation, prices, so because like the first video I ever made showing people how to do brick built roads, I want to say the way that I had calculated it out, it was roughly $20 for a 32 by 32 straight section of brick built road. Where now I bet you it's a lot more, but at that point in time it was right around $20. And even back then when I made that video, everybody thought I was crazy to want to do that. And it's like, yeah, but look at it. I can put in hashed lines. I can do passing lanes. I can do parking. I can, there's so many ways you can add detail. You can use masonry bricks and make it look like a brick, road, cobblestone road, or
Now, was that included? That was you're talking about that money, even though it was back then. I do understand that, but that money was including sidewalk and everything.
Yes.
See, I don't think that's that bad though.
But keep in mind, to me anyway, at least from my perspective, it's really hard to find Lego deals anymore. Back just 5 years ago, it wasn't nothing for me to go on to Bricklink, and the reason I have like 10,000 of these gray 4x4 plates, I could get them for 5 cents a piece. There was different people that had these bulk quantities of these parts, and it was just here, you have to buy a minimum of 1,000, but we'll sell them for 5 cents a piece. And so, okay, give me 10,000. Like no big deal. But I don't really see a lot of that anymore. But even Lego,
I have found out though, to go with that. Now I'm not saying to rush out and ask every single Bricklink store, but a lot of Bricklink stores will give you discounts. It goes back to what mine and your conversation was the other night. When me and you were talking, you thought I needed like 10 lights, but I actually needed like 100. And that goes the same way. The 16x16 plates in dark bluish gray, there was a Bricklink store, which now I'm pretty good friends with them. But I was like, is there any way you can give me a discount on these? And he was like, no. He was like, they just cost what they cost and everything else. And I was like, you have 100 of them, and I would actually like to buy all 100 of them. He was like, you buy all 100 of them, I'll make you a deal. I'll knock them to $1 a piece. And I was like, done. You're not going to, that's like the best deal in the world. And a lot of Bricklink stores will do that. If you're, I guess, willing to do it. Now, I will say I don't know the colors right off the top of my head, but those 4x4 plates are cheaper to buy from Lego.
Yeah.
Cheaper than 5 cents.
Yeah, well, I don't know what they are now. So if you go
I
to
want to say the
Brickin,
Lego store price now. These are like either between 15 to 20 now.
Gene, pull up Bricklink and go to a 4x4 plate and see what the common price is.
Because
For
after
pack
Mills
100
plate, after Mills
what?
plates started taking off, prices of a lot of that have really jumped.
What color are you looking for, Richard?
I don't know. You tell me. I got them pulled up.
This was light bluish gray that I got for 5 cents.
So
about
light
5 years
blue.
ago, 4
So
years
you
ago.
are right. Light bluish gray is 20 cents on Lego site.
That's my point. But when I got these, I was paying 5 cents a piece for them. So even the tiles used to not be that bad, but now everybody's tiling everything. So tiles have gone through the roof. Now I think if you bought it directly from Lego, tiles are what, 10 cents now or 11 cents?
I'm not sure. I haven't bought tile.
But
in a
if you
long
go on
time.
Bricklink, the average is about 15 because it's such a high demand part. And this actually sells out all the time, even on the Lego website, the light blue gray tiles. That's where I miss. I honestly, some people like it. I'm not one of those that do. I hated it when they shut down Bricks and Pieces on the Lego website. I used to find smoking deals on there all the time. When they were getting tired of something or whatever, I bought, I think it was 1,000 of a couple different pieces of gold, which is why I have that. Forgot what I even called it now. It's my sand green and gold tower though. But the reason I was able to do the gold roof, it's the shield piece. I paid a penny a piece for those.
Wow.
But that was when Bricks and Pieces, because you had the pick a brick and then you had Bricks and Pieces. Bricks and Pieces would put pieces on discount all the time. And it was, trying to think. It was the shield piece. It was the gold rims for a car and the 1x2 slope with the fins in it that I got. Oh, and shields, the big round, or not shields, but the 4x4 dishes. And every one of those pieces went on clearance for a penny a piece. So I made sure I bought at least 1,000 of each of them.
Yeah.
Everybody looked at me like I was nuts. What are you going to do with that much gold? It's a penny a piece. You know what those parts are now? That stupid shield, I think, is like 60 cents a piece. I know it's up there. I paid a penny for them. Who cares?
It's a retirement. This is a trust fund right here.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
but it was the same thing.
Like,
even with like the glass for windows and stuff, they had a huge sale again when it was Bricks and Pieces. They had the two separate entities. I went on there and it was for like 6 months straight, all glass pieces, 1x4x6, 1x2x2s, whichever piece size you needed. They were like 5 cents a piece. And I want to say now, if you have to buy them, they're like 30, 25, 30 or whatever.
Yeah.
And again, that's why I said, that's why I have all this craziness behind me. It's because anytime I would see stuff on discount, I would clean them out.
So with you building Mills plates, are you a 2x2 brick and 4x4 plate guy?
I generally do it depends on what I'm building. If it's, for example, my skyscrapers, my Avenger Tower or whatever, I do 4x4 plates with 2x2 bricks. Like what I'm doing on some of my table display right now, I'm using 2x2 bricks, but they're spaced like, I think it's 6 studs apart. So I'm only putting 9 bricks underneath a 16x16 plate now. Because I don't need that weight capacity. You know what I mean? When I know I have to have a weight capacity, that's when I do the 2x2s and the 4x4s, because I only want a 2 stud gap in between everything.
Yeah.
But it all depends on what the build's going to be, depends on what the strength of the base is going to be.
Right.
So I actually use 2x4s and 16x16s to build Mills plates.
See, the only reason I don't do that way is because I already have several thousand 2x2s, so I'm going to use up my 2x2s.
True.
But there again, that was a part that nobody ever wanted 2x2s, especially if you were buying like yellow or blue or pinks or whatever.
Yeah.
So you could pick them up all day long for a penny a piece. It was a part you couldn't go wrong with.
Man, if we could only go back in time.
Trust me, I wished I would have bought more.
See, I've gotten like my 2x4s. I actually even made a video about it because I had a bunch of people that were like arguing with me about the difference in how you're building and how I'm building it, and who is coming out cheaper. But the thing is like it doesn't. You're never gonna really justify that because I'm getting 16x16s for really cheap at the time. Plus, like the 2x4s, there's a couple stores that I've hit up. And I'm like, hey, I'll buy your entire like 850 of them if you just lower the price like 5 cents a piece, and they'll do it. And it's just one of those things that it's hard to justify what comes what. But I've just found that the 16x16s work best for me. And once my mills plates are built, they're built. I don't have to worry about anything else. They're done.
Right.
Yep.
I have to be able to disassemble and reroute and do stuff, and that's why a lot of times I like to use, and because I have a surplus of them, the 4x4s. But we're in different aspects because I'm always looking for channels for wiring and things of that nature. Where you really haven't gotten deep into that road yet. Where I've been heavy into it for a while.
Yeah,
any cavity counts.
Yes. Just as long as it ain't a cavity search.
Yeah. 0 out of 10 dogs on that one. I hope there's no dogs on that one.
No, that would be the raw dog you need.
Yeah. There would definitely be something going on there.
Some kind of dogging going on there.
Yeah, but
I will say personally, I think the 16s or 16s are probably the cheaper way to go.
Yeah.
Now, especially with the prices of the 4x4 plates.
Definitely.
Because I want to say, even if you paid full price for a 16x16, now they're only what, 220, 210?
Off of Lego's website right now, I think they're like 221.
Okay, so it's right in that ballpark. That's still not a bad price.
But the thing that I like about them too is just the I guess the ability to have such a wide plate. Like one of the things I hate is when you're one of the things that I hate is when you're taking something apart and you only want to take off that top layer, but you pull off the layer underneath it too. Like it's just another extra thing. And like I said, I got mine for so cheap that it's just my mills plates are built. Once this mock is done and I tear it apart, I'm not tearing apart the mills plates. I'm just going to continue to run with it and do the next mock on top of it. Like it's no big deal.
And building mills plates isn't that big a deal either. A lot of people overcomplicate it.
Yeah,
so that's another issue. They overthink it, I think.
Definitely. No, most definitely. So, I know before you said the sets that you've wanted, you've always been able to get. Is there one that has slipped through the cracks that you wish you got, that you had to get after it's been retired for several years, or still haven't got? Like, do you have a white whale right now?
There's a set that I had, and then I sold it, and I regret it.
Which one's that?
That was the I'm trying to remember the name of it. It was the big battleship, the sailboat. I mean, it was the Queen or not?
Oh, Queen Mary. No,
not from the Black.
not from
Pirates of the Caribbean. This was just the Pirates. It was about 12 years ago. What the heck's the name of it? But it was all Imperial soldiers on it. Was it the Imperial flagship?
Yeah, the Imperial flagship, I believe is what it's called.
That would be my white knight. Between that and the fact that I screwed up as far as I still don't know why I did it. The original carousel set, the Lego carousel set. I knew they were going to discontinue it, and I saw it online, and it was like 40% off, and I thought, no, you know what? Because back then you could get really good deals all the time. I thought it's going to go cheaper. I'm not buying it. I waited a couple days too long, and then I couldn't get it anymore without paying a huge markup. And I've never bought it to replace it. So those would be my two big sets. The one that I bought and sold like an idiot, and then the one that
Also-
I screwed up thinking I could get a cheaper deal on.
Yeah, right.
Also, back then they didn't really. I mean, it wasn't as big of a thing as it is now. Now, when they're about to kind of retire something, it's well known. I mean,
Right.
they have lists out online every year of stuff they're about to retire, and I mean, I totally agree that the bad thing though about that pirate ship is if you're ever gonna get it to be that like crisp fabric or the really
You're
clear
screwed.
colors, you're gonna spend some money.
Oh yeah. So that's like going to be a couple $1,000s if I ever want to get it, and I don't think I'm ever going to get it.
Well,
I should have
that's what I
never
was-
sold the one I had. That's
Right?
my own fault.
That's why I was like looking at like parting out the original gunship that they had back in the early 2000s. And I was like, oh, this is actually pretty cheap. And I'm like, but why is it almost $300? When I thought about it, the sticker sheet alone is $130, which is just ridiculous. I'm like, I think I could get all the parts for under $200 or under $150 easily. But it's just like
Stickers.
the stickers. I'm like,
When-
jeez.
So when I first started the YouTube channel, it was a joke of mine. I was like, I bought a huge lot from a guy off Facebook, and it was a really sketchy situation, but everything was legit. Once the money changed hands and I got the Lego, I really didn't care.
Yeah.
The whole lot cost me $700, and in that lot was 3 of the 2013 gunships. So I like killed the profit of it on that period.
Jeez.
So I kept one, and I just took it apart a couple weeks ago to make room. But I had another one that was missing the round red, the dark red wheel up top, and then the other one was complete, but it was just like faded. So I had a buddy that was like, he was like, you know, what do you want for the faded bad one? And I was like, man, I'll just give it to you. So I gave it to him for free. And I was like, the third one, the one that I had that was missing that piece, I was like, when I hit 1,000 subscribers, I'm gonna hit it with a batter. I'm gonna shoot it with tannerite. I'm gonna blow it up. I'm gonna do something.
Yeah.
And Ryan from M&R was actually like, you're kind of dumb for doing that. You realize that you could buy the UCS gunship for cheaper and destroy it than you could the 2013 gunship. And I was like, you got a
Yep.
point. And
Really?
yeah, because the UCS gunship is like $350, and the 2013 is like 500 and something.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Ouch.
Big ouch.
Big
Big
ouch.
ouch.
So I didn't do it. I backed down.
I backed down. Walk
I calmed
away.
myself down.
Yeah,
I breathe. I breathe for another 30 seconds. It's kind of funny that Ryan talked you out.
Yeah.
Well, it was also weird too because like in that same time period, it wasn't long. Like I guess it was probably it was a little while. It was like 7 or 8 months longer. But he hit the he took a baseball bat to the fake Lego set. I believe it was. What did he take a baseball bat to? He broke something with a baseball bat.
I don't remember, but I know what you're
So
talking
many
about.
people
though.
have done that now. I know
right.
M&R did it, but I don't remember what set he did it to.
Everybody just wants to be like Lego Masters.
Well,
Basically.
it's a gimmick. It's what we were talking about, offline about people's attention spans, and that's something that you can get it for just that moment. And
Get that shot of dopamine with a baseball bat.
yeah.
Straight to the head.
Straight to the head.
Straight to your neurons. Bam.
Will
Straight
said that
raw
there's
talking
companies-
to your neurons.
Will said that there's companies out there that sell replica sticker sheets for a fraction of the cost.
Really?
There's a lot of them actually.
Yeah.
And it's like, who cares if it's a replica as long as it looks the same?
Right? Well, who does the one? Is it Brick Tactical that released printed tile pieces for the new UCS Venator
Yeah,
and labeled it as not a sticker sheet?
yeah.
I thought that was pretty clever.
Well, that's like a big problem anyway. I feel bad whenever you buy like a $650 set or
Yeah.
anything
And you
that's
get
that bad,
stickers.
and it comes with stickers. Because one of the things is I don't care how good you are at placing stickers, you still have that chance of messing it up. And sometimes if you mess it up and you pull it up and something were to happen and it doesn't lay down flat because you kinked the corner or anything can happen like that, it really does kind of take away from the collector side of it, because it's kind of like you could have a muscle car that is fully restored and there be one little scratch in it, and none of us ever be able to point out that scratch, but you know it's there.
Yep.
Right. No,
Richard, on that note, a friend of mine posted a picture, really proud of this car that showed up in his shop the other day. 1966 Mustang, immaculate condition. Everything was perfect about it. He was bragging about it, showing pictures from every angle. One of his friends goes, "Yeah, that's cool and all, but it's got a 1965 gas cap on it."
Nice.
I mean, there's those people.
There are.
We got Trevor in the house now.
Short man.
Yeah, that's short man. His last name is not exclusive to his height.
And how would you know that?
Well, I have known him for quite a while.
So you know how we all sit here? He sits like way. No, I'm just kidding.
It got real cold outside that night. The fire blew out.
The dog sits way.
What so we went over kind of like why Lego, why light kits, and why all that. What's the I want to dig a little deeper. What's your favorite? I mean, I have an idea of what you're going to say, but what's your favorite thing to come out of what you've done with lights?
That I'm seeing a lot more people use them. Number one, I think people feel a little more trusting of somebody that they can actually kind of talk to, as opposed to it just being all these online companies just trying to pour stuff out at you.
Yeah.
And I try to be responsive. So, to me, and again, I'm an electrician, so that's part of my obsession with it to begin with. But something happens when you put lights in a build. I don't care what the build is.
Yeah.
It's like it comes alive for me anyway. Mm-hmm. And I want other people to experience that feeling when they build something all of a sudden it's just like I'm
gonna let you know that so it was the first time the first time he built it all out. But Jason last year, I know you've seen the pictures of his layout, and it was just like, yeah, it's a cool layout, and it had a ton of minifigures. But when the overhead lights went off and his LEDs came on, all the little lights that were like perfect, on all the landing pads to let you know where to land, the walkways were lit up and everything else. And I was just like, holy crap. Like,
and
it really does give that. It's almost like another build.
A lot of time offline discussing it and how to do it, and what he had told me what he was after and what he wanted, and I'm like, okay, well, you need to do this, to get that effect, or you need. So,
like I said, when are you coming over here?
So he sent me lots and lots of pictures.
The good thing about mine is I think mine is going to be pretty simple.
Yours is a lot smaller because Jason tends to build a little crazy big.
Well, mine's the same size as his.
Is it really? Because I thought he was like 10. Trying to remember because you're talking about the one where it was all the orange and not orange, but the movie we were talking about, or the TV show on Disney Plus.
Ahsoka.
I don't know why it's not coming to my mind again.
But he did Andor.
Thank you. And Andor. That was the movie I was saying too, or TV series I was talking about that was so good as Andor.
Oh,
he did when it was the Imperial response to the Andor riots or whatever the heck is what that build was supposed to represent. But he spent a lot of time just designing those landing platforms and stuff, as far as his creativity to make them look so unique.
Because because I know that the big difference is he uses 48 by 48s and I use 32 by 32s, but his mine is 6 by 11.
See, I thought he was like 8 by 10 of the 48 by 48s.
I'm not sure.
Maybe I'm wrong.
So you might not know this yet, and a lot of we talked about it, and it kind of it came really fast and left really fast. But Actually, my castle is supposed to pair up with his castle. That's
Talking
supposed to
about one
pair
from the
up.
pirate display.
No, his new one that he's supposed to be building.
Oh, he hasn't shown me a new one.
He's working on some things. As far as I know, maybe I shouldn't have said anything, but the talk
Because I just talked to him earlier, and I'm trying to see if maybe I missed something.
the talk was me, him, and Harold and another guy all building a castle to where they all met in the middle. And in the middle, there was a portal that was releasing like orcs and skeletons. And we were all like pretty much putting all of our differences aside to take care of the problem. But as far as I know, I'm the only one that started the build. And we're like 5 months away from, or well, I guess we're about 7 months away from Brick Fair, but I'm the only one that started the build, and I started it last August.
Yeah, Jason usually does a lot of his building in the summer.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's what he told me. He was like, dude, I'll wait to the last like 2 months and just like knock it out immediately. And I'm like, how?
yeah, he'll sit in his basement and build and build and build and won't stop. He's crazy that way. Well, it's like, do you remember the pirate display he did? Was it 2 years ago when I was down there with my build?
That, dude, I'm gonna let you know that pirate display. When I was watching that girl that was standing on the table snap down those like water plate after water plate, my buddy was like, "Let's go walk around." I was like, "Nah, I gotta watch this come together." I was like, "I have to see this thing like fully assembled." And then it was like every time somebody put down like a water plate, somebody else would bring up like a ship and sit down. And he's like, "Dude, let's go walk around." I'm like, "You could go walk around." I was like, "This thing is literally like coming together."
And a big portion of that was Jason.
Yeah.
As far as the water and all that, that was all, and that was stuff that he kind of did last minute. As a matter of fact, there was, I think, 8 plates.
We all really like Jason, but Jason didn't need to be the one standing on the table.
No. But like I said, there was 8 of those plates he took home on Thursday night to bring back Friday because they were done wrong. He's not like that.
That's dedication.
Yes, it is. He gets an image, and it's got to be that way.
The thing is like even if it doesn't work, I mean, we had basically planned it anyway because mine's going to be displayed in other places, not just Brick Fair, so they don't have to be together. Either way, the one thing that me and him agree, or I'm not going to say we agreed on, but we did agree on it. But we found out last year is me and him are competitive, not completely competitive, but there was a bunch of shady things last year that really like ticked both of us off. And it was so funny because like he would hear an A side of the story, I would hear like a B side of the story. We would come together and like find out that both A and B didn't really equal C. They equaled like half of another letter. Like the stories didn't add up. And we were kind of like, okay, next year we're coming right, and we're gonna get it done the correct way.
Yeah, he told me about some of that. I don't know what he wants aired, so I'm not going to say too much. But
well, I'll tell my part straight up. The fact that I had almost 35 base plates, and I got beat by a mini castle build that wasn't a full base plate, I was like, you got to be shitting me. I was like, there's no way. There's no way.
Well, my understanding is he even dropped the lug after last year.
I don't know that.
That's why I said I don't want to say too much. I don't
know.
Oh,
what do you mean? Drop the lug's name?
He's just not participating in their builds anymore.
Oh, so I don't know that aspect of it. I know that I won't say this name then, but there was a lug that was in charge of voting, and the 3 people that was nominated was all in their lug. And I'm just talking about for Castle. I don't know every aspect. I know that he didn't. I don't think he got nominated for Star Wars either.
He didn't get anything.
Yeah,
didn't get a nomination or nothing.
Yeah, the people that, and the other thing that really ticked me off was, like I said, I'm kind of competitive, But I'm one of those people also that if you beat me and you deserved it, I'm like, well, you deserved it. But the other thing that got nominated above me and him, because he had a castle build there too, was a which I'm not knocking the build. It was a cool build, but it was built for action figures. It didn't even have minifigures in it. It had action figures in it. And I was like, and it would be funny too, because like the minute that I would like just forget about it, he would say something. And like the minute I could tell he wasn't thinking about it, I would say something.
Just get you going again.
Yeah.
No, I get it. Yeah, I like I said, I heard a lot of stories. I just, like I said, I try to keep it because I don't know what he wants. I wasn't there, so I can't say nothing.
Yeah.
But me, I mean, I'm competitive, but at the same time, I'm not. What I mean by that, it's when I went to the show year before last, and I showed my Ventures Tower and a few of my other builds. I went there with no intentions on entering, winning, anything. And then the fact that 3 out of my 5 builds were nominated, and 2 out of the 5 builds I actually won trophies for, I was like dumbfounded. It was like, holy crap, man! How freaking awesome is that?
Yeah. I mean, that's
because I wasn't even trying to do. I was just trying to get out because a lot of people wanted to actually meet me, and it was more about, here's a couple of things I built, and come by and say hi to me than anything. Yeah. That was just a party bonus that I won some trophies out of it.
Does that mean we get to see you this year too?
It depends on what me and Jason talk.
So
he's the one that got me to come the year that I came.
Message Jason.
He said he's the only reason I honestly came that year. He's the one that talked me into it anyway. Let me put it that way. But I'm not going to say I won't come, but I'm not going to say I am.
Yeah, you said it. I've got to message Jason. You made it clear. I got it. Because I'm trying to get Drew right here. Drew needs to come down. And also at the same time, old Gene over here, I've been trying to. He came to, not last year, but the year before that. We went to 4 conventions together.
Yeah. Well, one of them you can't really count as a convention.
Yeah, but they were very.
One of them was highway robbery.
They were very small or smaller, and I'm like, I begged him last year. I was like, dude, just please come to Brick Fair. Please come to Brick Fair, please. And now see what he benefits from is he doesn't have to come to Brick Fair to get good deals. He PayPal's me money, and he's like, hey, go find this set. Hey, go find this set.
That's a good kind of friend to have.
Yeah.
Until you look at the bank account afterwards.
Then you just entice Rich to buy more from your shop, and you're good.
No, but the reality of it is he bought 2 of the retired modulars. My wife now has every modular back here, every one of them.
Wow.
And he bought 2 of the retired modulars, new in a box, and saved us about $800 over the going rate on Brickin.
Wow.
It was one of those things where I'm never gonna screw somebody over, especially somebody like Gene. And it was just, I knew that they were looking for him, and it was too good to be true. And the guy worked. I mean, same thing with Trevor. Trevor came to Brick Fair last year, and it just, I know people, and sometimes it works out into my favor, sometimes it doesn't. But in those cases, it did work out.
Yeah. Yeah, I really want to go to Brick Fair, Virginia. When is it again?
August.
I mean, I might be able to.
It's always the first week of August.
Right. I know I'm going to be at Brick Universe down here in Chattanooga.
See, I'll be at Brick Universe also, but it'll be in Raleigh.
Yeah.
And I think that's
Drew, what's the dates of Brick Universe Chattanooga?
20 to 21.
Shows that you don't want to miss is Brick Fair and then Chicago.
Brick World.
Brick World.
I don't think I'm going to pull off. Last year I said that I was going to make it a point to show up to Brick World Chicago, and I am going to Disney at the end of this. Well, in October of this year, but this is going to sound weird, but I do, just like everyone on here has somewhat of an, we all have an online kind of like personality. We're all. I hate the word. I'm going to find a different word because I absolutely hate that word. We're not
Wax on, wax off,
we're,
Danielson.
Yeah, we're all we're all content creators.
We have an online presence.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I know that Brick World would help me get out there more. But my personal opinion, if I'm going to fly to Chicago to look at a convention, I'm going to not go to Chicago, and I'm going to go to World War Brick and enjoy friends that I actually know.
Yep. Well, that's what they say. If you're going to go to a convention, go to the one that your friends are going to. Because it will be the best, most memorable, and the most fun you will have on a weekend.
Dan has never treated me wrong. They've always done me right. He's a really cool guy. Every brick fair I've ever been to, we actually spend Saturday night walking around talking about everybody's mocks. And it was one of those things that Dylan is another employee there. And Dylan was like, man, look, I'll make you a deal. He's like, you buy the plane ticket and you get up here and I'll take care of everything else.
That's pretty nice.
And I'm gonna make it to the right now. The only difference, or the only thing that's making me not say that, is I'm really trying to make sure that I can not only get to these conventions, but have fun at the conventions, because I know I'm going to spend money.
Yeah.
And I know Brick Fair is that big one.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest thing I will tell you is don't do a convention if you're looking at it to help your online presence, because it doesn't.
Yeah.
Do it because you want to go do it and have a good time. If you're doing it to try and get, at least my experience, I saw no gains, no improvement, no nothing. But I got to meet a ton of very cool people from going, so it made it a very memorable experience. Like Drew was saying.
Oh, Rob, I was there last year. I was at Brick Fair, Virginia for 2023.
But like I said, though, as far as for trying to do it to gain subscribers or any of that, I saw no benefit in any way, shape, or form. So,
well, I love everything I've done so far. I love displaying, and the problem I'm having now, which it's nothing but like a mental problem, is I'm slightly freaking out about transporting this castle. I don't know how people like Jason do what he does.
Oh, trust me, I get you, because that Avengers Tower, I mean, that's 6 foot tall building, and I can't dismantle it. Yeah, I drove it there in the back of my Bronco. I was sweating bullets the whole way there. I'd get
every little bump you hit, you hear like a piece fall off.
You hit a bump and you just feel it. It's just like
So Daryl, you said a magic word, Bronco.
I was gonna say we just said the Bronco word. That's a 10 out of 10 dog right there.
It's time to go ahead and log off, everybody. It was nice talking to y'all. We had fun tonight.
That was a 10 out of 10 dog statement right there.
That is not a 10 out of 10 dog statement.
Why, you don't like Broncos?
What Bronco you got?
I got a 2021 Bronco Black Diamond.
So I drive a 22 Badlands that has already been to Moab, Sand Hollow, Johnson Valley, and has an annual pass to Uwharrie here in North Carolina.
Oh, you've had some fun with it then.
Oh yeah.
Hell
yeah. He said, "Hell yeah." What does it look like? He a 9 out of 10 dog. He a 10.
So Daryl, I've had it 15 months and I've washed it twice.
Ford, them warranties have been voided. They have been voided.
Hey, I haven't had any problems with mine. I think I'm at 23,000 miles on it now. As a matter of fact, I took it to Brick Fair the year I got it, Brick Fair, Virginia. Nice. That was, like I said, that's what I had everything in it. And I had only had it a couple months when I drove it there. But my big thing, the reason I like it, number one, I like stick shifts, and mine's a manual.
Nice.
So I have a 6-speed.
Nice.
But I like it because I got the soft top, and once it gets about 65 degrees, the top and the doors come off, and they don't go back on until they don't come back. Don't go back on until the fall, when it starts getting cold again.
I give you huge respect the fact that you have a 6-speed.
Yeah.
Well, technically 7, but you don't use first, right?
First is kind of a waste, but And I don't use sixth a lot either. I only use it on the freeway. You know, that's one thing I'm glad, because I have a Chevy and it has that stupid shift light. It doesn't matter where you're at. It's a 6-speed. It's a Chevy Cruze. But I've got almost 300,000 on that thing. It's still going strong.
Wow.
But all the roads by me are 55 miles an hour. Well, 6-speed in the 6th gear, it's too low of a gear, and the car, you know, anytime I start to slightly go uphill or whatever, I got to downshift again. But yet you constantly have that light shift. If you're not in 6th. So that annoys the daylights out of me. But I grew up with stick shifts, and every car I've ever owned has been a stick shift for 2 reasons. One, my wife can't drive it, so she can't destroy it.
There you go.
And 2, quite simply, I feel more control of the car having a manual.
If it's a nice feeling.
Yeah, it's just you feel like you're one with it. You know, you're doing everything. It's not just push the pedal and go. You have to tell it.
The second car I ever owned was a 5-speed, and I'm about 9 cars after that, and I've never owned one that wasn't. I'll continue to buy a manual as long as I can. Now, I would like an automatic in some situations. Like,
I will say, for like my drive to Brick Fair, I kind of wished I would have taken an automatic car, but
yeah,
you know, is what it is. Because when you get stuck in traffic on the freeway, it sucks.
It does.
Yes.
Bad.
Yeah, so my Badlands is automatic, but it's, you know, I wanted the 2.7, and you can only get the 2.7 with automatic.
Right.
It's an auto tragic.
But there are some things that we've learned. Have you been to Bronco Off Rodeo yet?
No.
Oh, so there's some things we learned at Bronco Off Rodeo, that there's some technology built into the automatics that you just can't do with the manuals. And so I'm kind of glad I got it. There are times I wish I had a straight drive, but it's been good.
No, I've heard good things about the automatics. It's just, like I said, it's just a personal preference as far as wanting to be able to shift it.
Mm-hmm.
If I was, because I've debated on buying a second one, and if I did buy a second one, it probably would be an automatic, just so that way the wife could drive it, so she has something in the snow.
Yeah.
But because I already got my stick, so it's like, you know, if I had another one, might as well make it an auto.
True that.
Where are you guys located?
Michigan. I'm about 45 minutes west of Detroit. I live in a little town called Tecumseh. It's a very small town. It's where Tecumseh products, Tecumseh engines used to be manufactured before they moved them to Mexico.
If you're in Michigan, then you know a good friend of mine that owns a Bricklink store. Then I guarantee you know him.
I know there's somebody here that I buy from a lot, but I've never really talked to him.
Mr. Dustin at D's Bricks.
I don't think I bought from him.
He has
the guy that I usually buy from, he's in Sterling Heights.
I don't know where this guy's actually located at, but he has a pretty big store.
Yeah, because as far as stores, I don't really have a preference for anybody. I go wherever the part is cheapest. So I mean, if I'm looking for something specific, sometimes I will go directly to a store that I'm familiar with, especially if it's an important part. But when I'm looking, like my I call it my daily bugle, my flat iron building that I'm working on. When I'm looking for parts for that, I'm usually looking in very, very, very high quantities, and 9 times out of 10, I'm purchasing from Germany or something overseas, because they're the ones that have the massive quantities at the cheaper prices. So I'd say probably a good 70% of everything that I typically buy overseas, just because of the cheapness and prices. Because when you're buying quantities of 5,000-10,000 of a certain part, it's, even if the shipping's a little higher, it still offsets the costs of what a lot of people sell them here for.
Yeah,
that I've experienced anyway.
Okay, sidebar. I thought I'd heard of where you were. I just looked it up. We went through there in 2018 on our way to Hell, Michigan.
Yeah. Yep.
You
Been to hell and back.
Hell and back. And so, funny story. You know, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. The
Yes, it
reality
is.
is paved with really good asphalt. They had just repaved all the roads into hell before we got there. And the state flower of Michigan is the pothole, except near hell.
Yes.
You know who has
And the
terrible
state-
potholes?
The state flower is those little orange cones.
That's funny.
I kid you not, Tori and I have driven all over the nation. We've got like, I think 7 states left, and we'll have them all. And Michigan has the worst potholes of anywhere in the world.
Really? Even Nashville?
No argument for me.
Oh, Michigan has the worst potholes of
Like
anywhere
even
in
on the
world.
highway, like on the
I'm
interstate.
talking, yeah.
Because
You
I've
know
hit
why?
some nasty things in Nashville
Yeah, but do you know why we have the worst?
because of all the snow.
We have
and
the
ice.
highest weight limits for trucks.
Yeah.
So the
Oh,
semi-
They've got
trucks.
ridiculous triple
Boy.
axles. No, they're 6-axle trucks, aren't they?
Yeah.
The trailers.
wow. That's some big
Trailers
boys.
got 6 axles on them.
But I've hit
I'd stay away
potholes
from
and actually just shattered rims before.
Yeah, so we used to go up to the Mackinac, up to Mackinac
Mackinac
Island. Yeah, we'd stay in Sault Ste. Marie.
Mhm.
The joke was we'd go across the border to Canada for dinner at least once that time. We've eaten dinner in Canada 4 different times just to say we could.
It's really beautiful up there in the summer. And then if
Oh
you
my
really
God,
want a
yeah.
nice, if you like outdoors anyway, Painted Rocks. I'm trying to think of what is that, Algonac? It's in the UP though. If you ever go to Painted Rocks.
Yeah, we
it's
went
a
across the
beautiful
UP
kayaking
last
area.
time and down. We're big Frank Lloyd Wright fans, and so went across the UP down through Wisconsin into Chicago.
Oh, okay.
Did the whole big loop around the lake.
That's got to be a nice drive.
It was gorgeous.
So it's really beautiful, especially in the fall up there because of all the changing of the leaves and all that. It's just still not touched and not overly built like most areas.
I've never been up that way. The furthest north I've been is New York.
New York, I've been there and I can't say that I missed it. Now, I went to Texas, what was it, 2 years ago. Now, you want a good place to eat if you're ever in Houston, Texas, go to a restaurant called Taste of Texas. You will have the best steak you've ever had in your life. That I kid you not, that was the best steak I ever ate in my life. I loved that place. It's a little pricey, but man, it was worth it.
There's no bad price on good food.
No, and
So the
that
best,
wasn't just food, service too, because I mean the service was impeccable.
yeah, the best steak for us was at a place at the stockyard in Kansas City. I mean, literally at the stockyard where they sell the cattle.
Oh, that would be freaking awesome.
Yeah, and it's been there since the 1940s. It was a killer place.
See, I know, like here
Still
where
look
I'm
like
at,
the
there's a lot of
1940s.
cattle farmers around me. I can go to Jerry's Market, and Jerry's Market only sells the local cattle, so I can still get a good cut of meat. But as far as going to a restaurant, best to Taste of Texas is the place I would say to go for steak.
Well, you know you can get a good look at a T-bone by sticking your head up the bull's ass. Rather take the butcher's word for it.
Yes, you
Straight
can.
raw dogging that calf.
And on that note, guys, we are coming to an end. It is about to be 10:30.
Yeah, I needed to leave about a half hour ago because I get up in about 6 hours to go to work.
Yep.
But I'm a little further out than that. But But I would like to thank you for coming on tonight, Daryl. It was very
Yeah.
nice. It was very fun. I think
Thanks
this
for having me. It was fun being on.
first
Yeah, it was
first
great.
episode like this was real fun.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
Next week we'll have another guest.
Yeah.
The week after that, and the week after that.
Yep.
Until we just can't find anymore. But
You'll never
I'll
run out of
definitely.
people.
Do you have anything you want to shout out or promote or anything else that you're working on right now?
No, I wish your channel a lot of luck. If you're into lighting, don't forget to check out my channel. Not even my channel, my website, bevansbricks.com. And again, thanks for having me on, guys.
Of course.
You'll be hearing from me shortly because, like I said, I've got a list ready. I'm just trying to figure out the length of the connecting cables.
Measure helps.
I'll just overdo it every time.
Measure twice.
And now I got a new task. I got to get a hold of Jason. That's my new task. I got to get a hold of Jason.
Yeah.
Yes, get a hold of Jason.
But Drew, you got anything you want to shout out or say or?
No, just we got Brick Style Shop. Use my name, 10% off. That's always a plus. Release of new shirts. That's always cool. I mean, just working on the Minecraft world, I guess. I might have to hit up Bevan's Bricks to light it up. So, I've only got the first modular right now, and there's no lights in it. So there's opportunity here.
There's
always opportunity,
right? But
you got anything you want to say?
Yeah, a couple things. Number one, thanks again, Daryl, for coming on. It's great having you here.
Yeah.
But number two, I want to give a shout out to Drew. He hadn't publicized it, but he has become a permanent member of this crew on this channel.
Mm-hmm.
He's brought his show over to this show, and we really appreciate it. And it's adding a lot to the show. It's awesome.
Well, thank you. I'm glad Rich and you were accepting of the idea, and it works that best this way. So now I only have to do 2 shows a week, not 3 shows a week. So I like this a lot.
we found, or I guess we need to find a good way to say this, but if we can get Brick Style Shop to sell 100 t-shirts, we're going to do a Drew Dogs Beer to Brick shirt. We will have it. We've already got it planned. We've already got the design. All we need to do is prove to him that he can move some merch. And once he can move some merch, then that's when the fun starts happening.
Exactly.
So like I said, run out to his website, use Drew Bricks for 10% off. And the only thing I have coming is I have another castle video coming out sometime this week. I have a clone video that I'm working on. So I've been slowly pumping out stuff as fast as I can get it. And then I'm still doing my I wanted to do a full 365 days of shorts, and I'm on day 15 or day 16 tonight, and it'll be 16 strong.
It's a lot of shorts, no pants.
No pants. I don't like pants. It's too hot.
You should never wear
No dogs.
Warm area.
No
Yeah,
dogs.
But thanks everybody for watching. Come back next week, and I guess I'll hope to see everybody around.
Heck
Peace.
yeah.
Peace out.
Stay